For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Carl's been on holiday again, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, because, Carl, you don't do anything.
And you have weekends off. You take at least 5 or 6 weeks holiday a year, even though you haven't got a job now. You're meant to be doing this, and yet you still
So
go
your
on
whole
holiday.
life's a holiday, basically.
Yeah, why do you need a holiday? You potter around. Your big day last week was going to the cobblers. So why do you need a break so much this week?
It's just that, you know, it's good for your brain and that, isn't it? It opens it up a bit.
You are not evidence for that.
Where did you go?
Gran Canaria.
For a week?
Yeah.
Just sitting around?
Well, there isn't much else to do at Gran Canaria. I mean, I don't want to go slagging a place off because every time I seem to talk about somewhere, I get into trouble for it.
Right.
But it's just like a big rock. It's just volcanic, innit?
And you must have looked like a little barnacle on that.
Have you been there before?
Been near it before to another rock, which was just.
But
it was
what,
the
you
same
had your
sort of
fingers
thing.
burned, why did you go back?
Because you think, well, they can't have loads of these islands that are the same, like just a big rock with hotels on. They can't get away with it. So you think,
And they
well, the
obviously
next
are
one.
getting away with it. But why do you keep going to these places that are rocks? Why don't you investigate first? Ask your travel agent, is this a giant rock?
Because that's what you do, innit? You go and find out yourself. I mean, when Armstrong went to the moon, what was he expecting up there? That's a fact. That's a big rock, and he still went all that way.
I don't know what that point was.
No,
Fair enough.
so what I'm saying is, though,
What do you make of this place? You enjoy it, Gran Canaria? It was just a big rock, but did you
I bet the moon was better.
Really?
What did you do?
It was just one of them. It was big hotel, like big, massive places where there's loads of people, and you know you go for your dinner.
That describes a hotel.
Yeah.
No,
Sounds like
no.
what to me.
You've nailed that.
I've been to a few, that sounds like it.
No, but do you know what I mean? Though there's the nice small ones where it's just enough people, but this is like mental, and it was all, it was full of old people really. I mean that's probably why it's called Gran Canaria, right? Because there's just
Gran
old
is
people.
everywhere.
Yeah, right. But what I thought I'd start doing is start a diary.
Okay, why?
Just because I sort of had a bit of time on my hands and that. Just thought, write it down, write stuff down.
And do you hope that this one day will become one of the great literary documents like Samuel Pepys' diary?
I haven't heard of that. Is it any good?
You've never heard of Samuel Pepys' diary?
No,
The most famous diary other than probably Anne Frank's.
I've heard of Anne Frank's and that, and I thought if she's sat in a loft, knocking stuff up, not much going on in her life at that point, yet she
Sure.
was still writing it down.
Yeah, whereas
Thought,
you've
well,
been
I'm
to
on
Gran
holiday.
Canaria, yeah.
I thought, so there is stuff going on that I can chat about. Start a diary.
Sure.
You started a diary.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Did you keep it up every day?
Yeah, just...
Oh, can I read it, please?
Well, a diary's meant to be sort of...
Please, can I read some out on this podcast? Carl.
Some of it, though, is only relevant to me. It's sort of...
Oh, this is... Please, give me it. Oh, my God.
I mean, this isn't... I haven't just...
Look how big it is!
It's one of those desk diaries.
It's huge. It's about a foot long, and it's... Oh, that is amazing. Imagine if Anne Frank's had been like that, as she got out... Right, everyone would have heard it clank down on the desk.
Yeah, but my writing's quite big, isn't it?
Oh, look, give us
Oh,
that. Give us that.
Do you know about joined up writing? Have you
This
heard
is
about that?
There's no point.
Amazing.
Sometimes you can't read it, can you? So it's
Right,
best
okay.
to look at ancient
look!
times.
Oh my God! It starts on the first day. This is wonderful. Going on holiday to Gran Canaria today. Woke up to the news that Tony Banks had died. There was a piece on the news about how everyone was shocked. Got me thinking about an invention that would be good. Right, a watch that counted down your life. If it says you've got 3 days left, go to the doctors. Told Suzanne about invention. She said she wouldn't buy one. But she said that about the iPod.
How would this device work, this watch? I mean, how would you know when you were about to die? Is that a concern? Again, not for you to worry about, presumably the boffins and
No, all I was thinking is that Tony Banks fella, he died and everyone was shocked about it. But if you had like a little watch on...
But you can't just say, wouldn't it be good? How would this work? Yeah, I imagine you're in the patent office got an idea. They go, oh, certainly, Miss Pilkington, what's your idea? Watch that counting down your life. Oh, how does that work?
Just wear it, just pop it on your wrist.
No, what do you mean, just pop it on your wrist? How does it work, just pop it on your wrist? Brilliant. You're an idiot.
Well, it's interesting that he goes on. The flight to Gran Canaria was a bit bumpy. I thought about the clock that counts down your life again, and I wondered if it would know if you were going to die in a disaster. Now he's querying his own design.
He's wondering if it would know. He's invented this,
and now he's not even sure. A fella on the plane was reading Koi Mag. It was a fishing magazine. I glanced over and noticed he was reading the Pond of the Month article. Don't think they could make it into a weekly magazine. Well, to be fair to you, because I remember seeing a guy on the train once reading Carp Monthly, a magazine dedicated entirely to carp, and it had Carp of the Month. And I just thought, once you're like 3 months in, the editor must be stressing, have we got any more carp? We got a carp that's actually done anything?
I reckon if they used the same one twice, there wouldn't be many complaints.
No one would be noticing.
No, that's the carp they used 2 years ago.
There was a really fat bloke on the plane. He was playing on his PSP. While I waited to go to the toilet, I looked at what game he was playing. It was darts. He's that fat and lazy, you can't even face playing a more active game on a games console. Me and Suzanne got off the coach along with a couple of old people. One of them was in a wheelchair. I don't think it was wise of them to come to a volcanic island with a wheelchair. Everywhere's pretty rough paving and slopey. Guess I'll keep an eye on it as the weeks go on. Day 2 in Gran Canaria.
Brilliant, we're only at day 2.
The hotel's a bit odd. I've never seen as many cross-eyed people in one location.
That's enough, isn't it?
That's amazing.
Well, you may as well let me read on a bit more.
No, this is amazing.
We'll come back to
This
it
is a
later
brilliant diary. This might be the best diary ever written. Oh.
While sat listening to the Kinks on my iPod, I wondered if everybody thinks in their accent. I know I do. What's this? What are you talking about?
Just that, when I've been sat there lying on the lounger, right, and I was thinking about stuff.
How do you know you think in your accent? Tell me a typical thought.
Because what I mean is, say if I was like, if I saw something, right, do you know how I say, like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, but
that was
I don't
being
have
said.
to. But when you think, I don't think the sentence is like I'm saying it. It's just a thought. The thought appears. It's conceptual and it's already there. It's not like I go, Rick, what? Just looking at that fellow over there, were you? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was thinking it looks a bit weird. Oh, so was I. I don't think out whole sentences.
Whereas you have Carl, stop listening to the Kinks for a minute. Look over there. More cross-eyed people.
No, well, that's
Is that how your mind works?
In a way, yeah. And
Brilliant.
that's when because I
That
thought
explains a lot.
It's great that he has to think of that whole sentences.
because I thought that's weird, isn't it? Right, I didn't think that's weird, isn't it? And I thought I actually think in my accent. And then I thought, does Stephen Hawking, does he, when he's doing his maths and that, is he? I don't know where he's from, so I don't know what his accent would be like.
I think he's from Kent or Cambridge or Oxford. Or
Right,
something.
so
So you think he might think in his
voice, in that voice, box
computerised
thing.
voice?
Just wondered.
Had lunch inside today due to shite weather. Sat next to an old fella. Old men's ears and noses carry on growing as they get older. Suzanne noticed his fingers were fat too. Maybe they continue to grow. Suzanne didn't laugh when I said her arse had the same problem. Day 3, cloudy start to the day. Had pie and chips in a cafe. Had a bit of an argument with Suzanne because I thought it was daft that we were paying for food when we were on an all-inclusive holiday. Changed my mind when I saw they sold pie though. The cafe was called Tattoos. The fellow who owned it didn't have any tattoos. But we never saw his wife.
Oh, brilliant.
Had a drink in a bar. Everyone sat and watched one of the local cats lick its bollocks.
It's the greatest holiday in the world. That's the entertainment in that town.
Went back to the hotel and had a sleep before tea. I love the fact you're moaning about old people, but you're just as bad.
You've done nothing so far.
He's done nothing, he's got a big hip. Woke up to news about ducks being badly treated. There was a really ugly one with bent legs.
I'm gonna die. Why does he write this down? Oh, God. Oh.
There is a fat bloke from Bolton who is in the pool as I write this. He's got a big tattoo on his back, but I can't work out what it is. ... He just got out of the pool and burped. Just felt like you had to keep us abreast of that.
Everything's in the diary. I just seen it get to the point where you're going, breathed in,
Yeah.
breathed out again.
There was a big fat fella in the sea who kept his T-shirt on. If you're big and fat, is there more chance of you getting burnt because there's more of you on show? I asked Suzanne, and she said she didn't know in that sort of not listening kind of way. I wanted to hang about to see if the fat bloke was going to get in the kayak, but Suzanne said we had to head back. Just let him wait in to see if he's going to capsize. We go home today, so we got up early to get the last bit of cloud.
No, it's just that it wasn't. It's not that sunny all the time. I mean, I was sat in weather that if it was like that here, there's no way to be sat in the garden.
Yeah.
But because you're on holiday, it's like, well, we got to sit in it. Put your coat on.
So are you going to continue to write this diary? Every single day?
It's amazing. Keep this diary up. It's amazing.
No, I will keep it up, because what I find as well is, I think earlier on, before I went away, I think I did learn something, and because I wrote it down, I remembered it a bit better. So
What was that?
I just was thinking then, I forgot it now, but but I remembered looking back at it and not having to read it all, because I remembered the end of it before I read it, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Harry from Canterbury wants to know whether any of us have ever had any cruel nicknames. He claims that he's quite tall and rather hirsute, and he says he's often called Lurch or Wolfie. He's always thought that Carl looks a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. No, there's no potato that round, but I suppose you could fashion a potato to be that round.
Yeah.
Maybe we could, if anyone can carve a potato into the roundest head ever, pop a couple of eyes on it.
Make it look as much like Carl as possible.
Exactly.
But yeah, any nicknames? Did you ever have a nickname, Rick?
No, mine was boring. I didn't have any. It was just around the name, like Gervais or something like that. No, I didn't have nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname. I just thought it was quite cool for some reason, particularly because gangsters always seem to have nicknames.
Lefty.
Fingers.
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah. Scarface.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I thought, because no one was giving me a nickname at school, it was kind of annoying, or certainly not to my face,
Yeah.
that I decided to just come up with one.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at lunch once, and I just said to my mate Phil,
How old were you?
12, 13.
Brilliant.
I just said to him, Phil, don't know if you know, mate, but people aren't calling me Steve anymore. Everyone's calling me Spud now. Now, I don't know why I thought Spud. It's weird, we should talk about Mr. Potato Head. I don't know why I thought Spud was a cool nickname. I think
It's a grown-up name, though, isn't it?
and it's also because I think it sounded like it was probably either something that you'd find in one of those kids' books, like the Famous Five, or like the Bash Street Kids. There'd be Spud, and I always imagine with Spud, he's not the leader of the gang, but he's a reliable member.
I think
You know what I mean?
Spud is the biggest lorry driver in one particular sort of car park.
Yeah.
And here comes Spud.
Yeah,
And he gets out, all right, boys. And he's big and massive. And Spud can eat 2 breakfasts.
exactly. Yeah, but I just in my mind it was that I would be one day part of a gang, and I'm Pinky, this is Jojo, and the tall guy Spud.
And you didn't catch
and
on,
it
did
never
it?
really caught. And he just went, oh yeah, right. And no one started. And I was hoping he'd go, everyone's calling Steve Spud.
Yeah.
But of course-
Hey, Spud. The first time I said Spud, you go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be really proud, wouldn't you? No.
Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of people on the estate that I grew up on. You know, nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, like, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping around in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing. You know, so there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Whether he had sex a lot or he worked in a prison.
No, he had a DIY shop. So you had him, right? There was Fred the Veg,
Yeah.
which is
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
there was my uncle Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah, he had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my God.
The problem was, because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm were really good. Because he was right-handed. On his right arm, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat.
Yeah.
Did he always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. Why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it. I mean,
Here comes Jimmy Three Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from like I had a CB. You know, like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the was it late 70s, early 80s?
Sort of early 80s.
And it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly. I think it started off with like
Lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it? Yeah, truckers. Yeah, because there was that thing from like about 1977.
Convoy.
It was Convoy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and the handle. I had 2
Handle
different
mean
names.
is your nickname. Your
Yeah,
name.
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had there was Pilkey 01, because
Right.
like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester. So if someone wants Pilkey 02, it's open. Do you know what I mean? They can have it. And then
Like it's people scrabbling. I want a Pilkey one.
and then because I did boxing and that,
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
I'd Boxer Boy, because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's Boxer Boy and that.
Yeah.
So just had them 2, and I used to just go on there and.
Pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So-
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" They go, "Box Boy." What's yours? Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but then
ridiculous.
you'll say like, then you go, oh, what's your 20?
What's that mean?
That's where are you?
Well, why don't you say, "Where are you"?
Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like, I go, oh, he keeps saying that, what's your handle? And they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on, and tell me the codes then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where
Oh,
are you?
This is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old
what
are you?
time is it?
No, how old are you?
What? How old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning? Of course.
Yeah.
So what's the answer? Come back.
You go
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code. There's no one gonna work that out. I wish you'd have kept a diary of this because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means like there's someone sat there listening into this chat and going, "This sounds interesting,"
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
and they want to join in, so they sort of go side on. You go side on, bring it in, right? And they go, "All right."
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your
That's it
20?
goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 15? It's that time again. Do the jingle.
Okay. I'm gonna do a really good one.
Okay, go.
Oh, chimpanzees! Monkey news! Yeah.
Right, do you know it's nearly time for the Winter Olympics again.
Okay.
Is it? Okay.
They sort of come round every 4 years.
Is it this year? Is it?
Yeah, and the last one that happened,
4 years ago, yeah.
there was a bit of an incident.
Oh, no. Do you remember any winners that were monkeys? In any of the
No,
tournaments?
of course not.
No.
So
So
it's not
anyway,
going to be that because it wouldn't be true. Go
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So anyway, one of the popular events, bobsleigh.
Okay, right.
You know, it works.
Well, you
It's
need
like a
4
sleigh.
men. Is it 4 men or 5
4
men?
men,
It's 4. So it's definitely 4 men that you need
Need
on
four
a
men.
team.
Is it and two? And there's 2 team bobsleigh as
But
well.
they're always men. Is that right, Rich? Just clarify. With the Winter Olympics, you can't have any animals taking part.
No, and they also no, because they wouldn't be allowed. And 2, there's no way they could disguise it because not only would they see it straight away, right, but they have blood tests,
Right, okay. So,
which would show up.
so they definitely know if it was
But they have
any
blood
kind of
tests.
non-human.
It's impossible. It would be literally impossible to have anything other than a human
Taking
involved
part.
in a bobsleigh team.
Fine. Okay, so carry on.
So anyway, the country was doing really well in the qualifying stages.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem was there was like 2 members who were getting all like the press and stuff.
Oh right, yeah.
Anyway, so this one member was getting fed up because the other 2 were getting all the press and what have you. So he said, I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
I'm jacking it in. So they were like, you're joking, we've qualified, we're getting into like the main race and everything. You can't leave us now. And he said, well, you could do it all on your own before, you know, the way you were acting, like you didn't need me, so I'm going. So the clock's ticking, it's getting close to the big race and everything.
Of course it is, yeah.
They're like, what are we going to do here?
The substitute
Right?
they took with them.
What are they
Well,
going
they
to
must
do?
have.
Yeah, they would take the substitute. So get
No,
him
they
on.
didn't have any of them and that. It's,
What?
you know, a lot of injuries and stuff.
Or just get a mate to do it. Just get a mate or a friend
Yeah,
or the coach to do it, yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of responsibility on these people and, you know, you won't want to let your country down and that. And they were like, what are we going to do?
Get a waiter or anyone in the
Anyway,
hotel.
the time comes to the race. Seems to be 3 people on it.
There appears to be 3, okay, yeah.
They start off, they're whizzing around the track faster than normal. They're beating their old records
Right, amazing.
because the new fella they've got a little bit smaller. Right,
Is he in?
so
Is he in the bobsleigh? Or is he pushing?
He's in it.
Oh, right, okay.
Right?
He's wearing a uniform and a helmet, though. We
He's
can't
got
see what he
helmet
looks like.
on.
We
He's
can't
got
see
the
his
kit
face.
on.
Can't see his face.
Nobody knows who he is, but the
course they do.
country's loving it.
course they
They're
do.
like, well, it looks like we're going to break all our records. You know, good. It's good that they found someone new.
Yeah.
Bet the other fella who left, he's sort of kicking himself, thinking, oh, I could have been part of this. Anyway,
This wasn't that bloke that had very short legs and long arms, was it?
what happened is they're whizzing round the track and what have you,
Faster than ever, yeah.
faster than ever, and the press are like going, beating all records here. They started taking photographs. A lot of flashes from the cameras and stuff.
Right, of course.
Suddenly, the bobsleigh goes a bit sort of mental and whizzes off the track. Ambulance comes rushing over and stuff. The other 2 members are looking pretty nervous for some reason.
Oh, what are they doing?
They're saying, look, don't take the helmet off because, you know, you can do more damage to the
well,
neck.
don't tell the paramedics how to do it.
They know their job.
Yeah,
they know their
yeah,
job.
yeah.
So they were
Please.
like, just you know, and plus, you know, he came in at last minute to help us out. He doesn't want everyone to know who he is. He's
Yeah.
not after the limelight
Yeah.
like some of the members we used to have. But he just was helping his country out.
Yeah.
Leave the helmet on. Anyway, they get him in the ambulance and stuff. The other 2 are looking a bit worried and what have you. They're gutted. They lost the race.
The little bloke, is the bloke not saying anything? Is he not?
He's in the ambulance now.
Is he not saying anything though?
Anyway, word reported that one of the ambulance drivers said that on that sort of dreadful night when, you know, the country lost out on a medal in the bobsleigh, he sort of reported that there was a monkey in the back of the ambulance. People were like going, you're joking,
I don't
aren't
remember
you?
this. I don't remember this. at all.
Well, this is it, you see, because they sort of swept it under the carpet a little bit.
right.
They were like, this is crazy talk.
It's all shit. It's all
This is
shit
crazy
again.
talk.
Once talk, absolute shit. Where'd you get this from?
This is crazy talk, right?
It is
But-
crazy talk, and it's from the mouth of Carl Pilkington.
But the weird thing is that backed it up. Following week, there was a story of some people who visited the zoo saw a chimp in a neck brace. And that's this week's Monkey News.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Carl, Joe from Bradford asks, what body parts can you live without? He wants to know. He's obviously having sleepless nights thinking about this.
What? So.
With a brain.
He's coped this far.
Yeah, I did a bit of an experiment on this, right?
Brilliant.
It's my job at home to wash up, right? Suzanne does.
She gives you all the really big responsible ones.
Yeah.
She sort of like pays the bills and wires the house. And you go, what can I do? And you can go, well, you can go and play with the worms in the garden.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's my job to wash up and that, right? And I thought to sort of make it interesting and stuff. I thought, I wonder if I can do it, right? If I didn't have any thumbs.
And so what did you do?
So I just sort
You
of
sliced off your thumbs.
I just sort of held them in. And it's amazing how, like, it took me ages. Just having that one thing gone.
Well, it's part of our evolution, the opposable thumb. Basically, that's when we soared. These are milestones in human evolution. The opposable thumb, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Carl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head?
So, when you were doing this experiment, washing up, you say that you found it difficult, it took you ages. So you didn't just give up once you realised how essential thumbs were.
No,
you
I
actually washed up everything.
I just think of Suzanne walking in and Carl's there, just covered in water and fairy liquid suds, standing on a pile of broken crockery.
Yeah, plunging his face into the sink every 30 seconds and just swishing his head around.
But we talked about the washing up thing before, haven't we? And I sort of look out of a window, so the sink's in front of the window.
Yeah.
And that's why I quite like washing up, because I can just look out onto the street, see people going past. There's like a local homeless fella called Franco. You know, I look out that he's all right and everything.
Sure.
But I was looking across the way, right, and there's some Chinese people who live in a flat, right, really small flat, and they're up till all hours. I don't know what they're doing. But they decide to back up at about 3:30 in the morning. And that. They're always really noisy and that. But above them, there was some woman, right, who the sort of bedroom is on par to our kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of washing up,
Yeah.
and I sort of look across and see this woman with like, you know, no pants on and that, no bra and that.
Naked.
Yeah, just
That's the word you're looking for.
yeah. She's just wandering about, you know, on that. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I carried on washing up and that, right? And kept looking, and then I was looking and she looked at me, right? So we made eye contact.
Sure.
So I was like, oh God, right? So what I thought the best thing to do was sort of drop me pants a little bit. just a little bit, just like, you know, I had boxer shorts on and that. I thought if I just show a little bit of sort of arse cheek, then it's kind of like, right, we quits. Right?
I don't understand the thinking.
So Suzanne's watching the telly, right? I think she was watching Sex and the City or something.
Yeah.
She sort of turns around to see how I'm getting on with the washing up, right? She sees me with like my pants sort of down a little bit with my arse out. She said, what are you doing? I said, don't look now. I said, but there's a woman over the road, right, with no pants on and that. She caught me looking. I'm just giving her a bit back.
I love the fact that he explains the rules and Suzanne's meant to go, okay.
That makes sense. But I don't. So hang on. So you showed a bit of your arse. You turned presumably to show the arse. So waggled the arse at the woman.
I had to lift it up a little bit on the sort of on the draining board.
What? Hang on though. What did she do? Did you register her reaction when she saw a bit of your arse? What happened?
When she saw my arse,
yeah.
Well, then I wasn't looking because I thought, in a way, I don't want it to look like well, I've seen a bit of your stuff, here's a bit of mine. I just thought, at the end of the day, I caught a glance of you.
It's only fair.
You've had a bit back. You know, I'm not
You
making
see,
a big deal out of
I
it.
genuinely think James Stewart missed a trick here in Rear Window.
Yeah.
This would have been, a much better film had James Stewart just popped his pants down.
It would have given a whole new meaning to the title Rear Window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tricky, though. I seem to be surrounded by people like that. Remember that film, that Sliver or something?
Okay, right.
When they've got video cameras.
Yeah.
I'm just looking onto everybody's world and just seeing what people are getting up to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Brilliant.
That's why I like washing up.
We were talking about famous mantras and sayings and things.
Yeah.
Never has a Manc said so much to so many that means so little.
Brilliant.
So you can have that on your headstone. Rupert.
Your little round headstone.
Rupert's in the Isle of Man. He says, I don't know if you knew this, Carl, but apparently octopus's testicles are located in their heads.
Yeah. But then, to me, that isn't that amazing, because at the end of the day, an octopus, really, all it is an head, isn't it?
So everything it's got has to be in the
It has
head.
to be in the head. It'd look daft if they dangled down below. Right? So all it is... I mean, there's a lot
Hang
of
on,
facts.
it'd look daft if they dangled down below. I'm wondering if that could almost be the B-side to...
B-side to
Knob at Night.
I could eat a knob at night.
James Round says, Carl, if you could be anyone in the world, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Why would you choose to be a dead person?
No, but sometimes, like, there's people who are now dead, but everybody raves about them. What I mean is, if...
Oh, just answer the question. Who would you be and why? It's someone you
No.
admire or you think had a good life. Just answer the
But what
question.
I mean is, it's good to be remembered, like Winston Churchill is remembered
Yeah.
as being a decent bloke, but I wouldn't want the hassle that he had. So I don't want to live his life,
Right.
but it's good to be...
You'd like to be Winston Churchill, but you'd like to have a paper round instead of...
Saving the world.
yeah.
That's what I mean. But is he saying whose job would I want to take on?
It's not that complicated.
The question is this. If he could be anyone in the world, who would Carl be? That's the question. That's all the information I've got.
A lot of responsibility on a lot of jobs, isn't there?
So, some of the names flowing through your head now?
I was thinking Bruce Willis.
I never expected that!
So his responsibility in your mind is what? Saving people who are trapped in a building with terrorists?
Well, yeah, maybe, his worries are different worries. With, people who have a lot of money come other worries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Bruce Willis, he's always going on these marches, isn't he, saying stop war and all that. Mainly because he's got more to lose if there's a war. He's got loads of houses. One of them's going to get damaged. Whereas if you're poor, you've got the one house. If there's a war, it's like, oh, just end it all for me then. I'm sick of it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Sure. Whereas Bruce, yeah.
With successful life and happy life, there's more for you to lose, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like at the moment, because I've finished a job that I've been at for 10 years. Right. I've finished working there, so suddenly I've got my timetable's a bit out, and I haven't got enough of a routine. And I'm a man who likes to know what I'm doing. Right?
Yeah.
So now suddenly
5 until 7, washing up with no thumbs.
I've sort of turned into like an old person, where the little jobs that you shouldn't enjoy are now the main event. So
But hold on, how old are you? You're 31, aren't you?
32.
32, and you're pottering around, not knowing what to do with yourself.
Well, like yesterday, Suzanne's shoes needed to go to the cobblers, right?
I haven't heard the word cobblers.
I didn't even know cobblers still existed.
I only ever see that in Christmas films made by Disney.
Well, I had to go and do that, and that suddenly...
Because last time you were going to the toffee shop. Yeah. And now you're going to the cobblers. Next week it's the candlestick maker.
But all I mean is that suddenly is a nice little day out. I'm sort of putting my coat on, going, right, I'll go and see the cobbler now and go and have a chat.
Tell me about the cobbler.
You didn't come back with 3 magic beans, did you?
No, the cobbler's all right. He's doing, he's fixing
cobbling.
shoes and that.
He's cobbling. He's cobbling all day.
Have I told you about my Uncle Alf, who was a cobbler?
No.
I'm sure I told you about him. He's the one who he lived in like a bedsit, and he had 2 tellies. He had like one that that the sound didn't work on,
Oh,
and
right.
one that the picture didn't. But both together, it worked.
Oh, right, okay.
So as long as he was watching the same channel on both, sound came out of one telly, and he'd watch the picture on the other.
Brilliant.
And he slept in like a rubber dinghy, right? But he was.
Whoa! You can't just let that slide. Why did he sleep in a rubber dinghy?
He just liked boats and stuff, and he sort of.
Yeah, I like boats, but they're better on the water. Beds are better to sleep on. Boats are better to sail on.
Well, he just had it in there. It's a bed sit. It was really tight space.
Boat sit.
He's got this.
It's moved into a dinghy sit.
He's got this dinghy, so he's thinking, well, rather than it get in the way, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Right? But he was a cobbler, and he used to like repair like my shoes and that, right?
Yeah.
But he'd always sort of overdo them, right? So
What do you mean?
like,
Fancy.
do you know like Pimp My Ride on MTV?
Yeah.
Because he does up shoes, he'd go mental on them.
What do you mean? There was the stereo.
Yeah.
Well, no,
There was horns.
He'd sound,
Here
Go
comes
faster
Carl
stripes down the side.
Yeah, here comes Mr. Pilkington. He's got the fastest shoes in the land.
no, he'd just make shoes that would last forever. So instead of putting like one sole on, he'd put about 5 on. So it looked like one of them built-up shoes that you never see. He'd just put loads of stuff on. They'd last forever, but they did.
But they look
because
like
I was-
orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, it just like suddenly I was like 6'7" whenever he'd sort of sorted my shoes out. But he's a cobbler, and you know it's work. That's always there for you, isn't it?
I suppose so.
So you went out with to take Suzanne's shoes to the cobbler.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, so I just took him to the cobblers and that was like a nice little job for the day. I got a leaflet through the door saying, you know, if you want to walk a dog, you know, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station, dare I say it, on... can I discuss your...
Well, it was an all right wage. Yeah.
It was very good.
But I wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if that's true, but... okay.
And
all
that
right.
makes you happier.
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do... I mean, I'm not taking it if it's raining. I'm just thinking if it's a nice sunny day and I fancy a potter, I'll go round to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up. Potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
Do you live in Narnia?
A lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff
Brilliant.
and getting a lot of stuff about philosophy
Oh, yeah.
and all that. Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes,
Yeah.
the French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort of cropped up on an email. Someone said, what do you think of him? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He famously he pondered his own existence. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it and I can smell it and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, but my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum.
But we don't need to know the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
to teach Latin.
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, if he's that bright, you know how he got killed?
No.
Got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
He was on holiday or something, right? And
He was on holiday.
In Greece, probably.
he was having a walk about, and a bird was flying over the sort of.
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird killed him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack...
An ostrich on a hang glider.
The way they used to crack the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You are a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
So from the top, the bird's there looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock, I'll drop the egg. Hit him on the head, killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now, because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, there's a rock down there.
Yeah. Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying, though, right? Before about knowledge and that, how knowledge is hassle or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, but why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent and he's probably earning a nice few quid
Yeah.
by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
He shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on holiday.
This is an email we've had saying, Carl, what do you take by the well-known saying, a stitch in time saves 9?
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
But what does willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, but what does a stitch in time
So
save 9
you understood
mean?
willy-nilly, so you used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
you
nice,
used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of.
So it's not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need one stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches. And that, of course, is an analogy to other things.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours is, this is what you wanted to be a quote, right? Where, well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Carl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it is,
anyone
though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been," and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop?
are we in?
They. What are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Why are they still using the index finger?
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is, we've got.
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Yeah, would you prefer it to
A
be
mechanical thumb, a
Oh,
robot
good.
thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera?
Well, they put the camera up if they initially discover something.
But just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do that.
Are you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella popping
A
his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus stressing out, thinking, oh, in less than half an hour I'm going to have a finger up the arse, right?
What is the problem?
And they go
though?
in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They take your testicles, yeah?
Yeah,
That's...
but it's all building, and you've sat there going, oh, soon that'll be happening.
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, he's over there, right?
Yeah.
And they crept up and went, bang. You go, what are you
prefer
doing?
that?
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they teach? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, it seems to be all right.
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves nine." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who
if
knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
You would get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Susanna would come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
So this week, anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah, well, once they've built it, the building's done and they move on to build some more.
Building to building, just
Where-
building, yeah.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to like the
The
boss,
new building.
the boss of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He said, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it, like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff, get on with it.
Yeah.
Any plans?
So this,
Just build.
Just start building.
Yeah. Go up.
they're getting on with it and stuff, it's all going well.
Yep.
But he notices that there's someone working high up, right, on the
Okay.
top bit. So anyway, he's saying to like the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up
Like,
there?
He's working on his own.
The little fella, was he?
And
The little hairy fella up there.
Who's
he's
the little
saying.
hairy fella up there with the hard hat?
And the other fellas were going, look, don't ask questions. The boss decides who he takes on. We're happy to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, it's pretty impressive, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other. He doesn't
Swinging, is he?
He doesn't seem to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it. We work well as a team. So anyway,
What nonsense is
So-
this?
so-
He believes all this.
Yep.
so he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, just get on with the job. Yeah, I'll pay you. Let's just all get on with our jobs. That. Lunchtime comes, they're all sat on a little wall having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right? He
He's
said,
very
"But-"
secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
I don't know.
I don't know why he's working through his lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, oh, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food or?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just there's a bag full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up.
Nuts,
right?
yep.
Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy,
No.
considering, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like nuts
big
and
bag of
bolts and
nuts,
stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh, no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat.
Oh.
Right? So they send the bag up and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about. So he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why
So-
isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together.
Yeah.
That's not scary. He's wondering if they're breaking union rules.
So he
You
goes,
didn't have talk.
So he goes and has a word with
he
the boss.
goes to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, oh, them out
Is the
there.
boss sitting in a tyre?
So he goes, look, we're just all trying to earn a living here. He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him.
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well,
We pay
honest,
peanuts, we get monkeys.
he said, to be honest, mate, you know, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go because he's been here longer than that.
Yeah.
He was made redundant.
None of
because
that
the monkey-
happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's
No.
where that saying about, you know, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where... So that's monkey news.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant. Hello. And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
We've got a little email straight away, Carl, from Nikki in Beverly Hills, California. She says, Carl, you rock. I hate it when Ricky and Steve ridicule you. I checked out your picture. Although your head is not normal, that's no reason to ridicule you. You look gimp, but I never judge a book by the cover.
Cheers.
That's all you've got to say.
Well, it's only because I've got no hair, though, isn't it? That's why it gives that effect.
No, it's perfectly round your head. It's perfectly spherical head. Your face is slightly too big for it. It almost goes over the sides. Perfectly round head. Pug little nose. Funny gimp eyes with no expression. Hangdog look. Like a little mouth, like a little lamprey, not formed, not human formed. The way your expression is like you've had a lobotomy. Your head goes weird at the back. It's got a little nod in it, like it's really strange, your face, and you're stupid.
We've had a lot of emails saying that. I mean, I think he's just paraphrasing, but... talking of emails, you know, a couple of... I can't remember which show it was, but you mentioned, Carl, that you'd only recently seen a Chinese homeless person.
Oh, yeah.
And it really surprised you because you'd never seen
I've
a
never
Chinese
seen one
homeless
before,
person.
no.
And I actually went along with that. I've still never seen a Chinese homeless person.
Well, now I can just tell you now that there's a few responses from Los Angeles, people saying there are quite a lot of Chinese homeless people over there because apparently there's a huge homeless community in Los Angeles. So definitely if you want to see them, Carl, that's the place to go. But we've had one from Vancouver, Canada, from a girl called Amy, and Amy herself is Chinese, and she says that she realised herself that she'd never really seen a Chinese homeless person. And although she says that apparently Vancouver has the first or second largest Chinese population in Canada, she'd never seen them, and she actually went for a walk around the Chinatown in her area looking for them, and she could not find any on that particular day. So again, Canada obviously not a place to go for a Chinese homeless.
It was just a point, though. I don't want people sort of...
Well, hold on, though. Wait, I'll stop you there. Hello, Ricky, Steve and Carl. I live in New York City and have seen a Chinese homeless person. Not only is he Chinese, but he is also a midget. He's been living on the streets for the last 30 years. He used to dress in rags, but thanks to a coat drive, he's now wearing a fancy Adidas jacket, right? Now he encloses a picture. He says he gave him $10 to take the picture, and I've seen it, and he's a little Chinese midget fella.
I'm just getting a bit worried that people are going out there sort of looking for these. Because they,
that's what you requested.
No. But all I was saying is, I saw one. I didn't start saying, "Excuse me, can you just give us a smile? I'm taking your picture." Do you know
we've
what I
had
mean?
loads of pictures of people.
I know, and it worries me a little bit. And I mean, it's not too bad about the one who took one of a little midget one, because if he kicked off, it'd be quite easy to sort of hold him back. But I'm talking about fully grown.
So is that your warning to people? Don't be taking pictures of fully grown Chinese homeless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, don't be messing about going up to strangers and that and annoying them and stuff, right? Maybe
Well, I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't annoy them. But that is a hell of a sighting, isn't it? We asked for a Chinese homeless, and they gave us a Chinese midget homeless.
Many of the listeners are aware, Carl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people.
Never having a go.
When you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, like I say, first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. But Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of, oh, right, interesting.
What do you mean?
No, just I've said before about I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What
I don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming from.
But Steve
with it.
knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Carl used to carry around a book that was called the Top 50 Freaks of All Time.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie, who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years, and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says, of all the people you've discussed, Carl, in the past, including some of the people from your odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with, of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite of all?
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. Let's just recap on
Well,
some of
there's Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No, not impressed with him.
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs,
Right.
And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
Not using the gift that he'd been given.
What you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are the others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman, you were fascinated by him, he used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's that. That's the one who he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So like every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so as the appearance, his biology is sort of like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one a long time though. That's
Only for a day?
I suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the Pillow Man would just be a bit of a drag.
Whereas if you're going for a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So yeah.
Oh. Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Carl. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Carl. Wendy says, if Carl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat?
You see, it depends, doesn't it? I mainly eat just so I keep going. I'm not that bothered about, because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like a horse?
I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch...
Any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you don't like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now, if you go into a toffee shop, there's like loads of different...
Where are you going to find a toffee shop?
So you're in a fairy tale.
You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek.
And you go into a toffee shop.
What's your point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
You've just come from the candlestick maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like what, and I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going
up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because he's got to get down to the pea green boat. He's saying off it.
No,
Good
but,
morrow.
well, forget the toffees.
Could I
then.
have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee, that's all they've got?
Well, maybe two. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book, isn't it? And you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're eating.
What do you mean?
You know, in Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you. Right? Not worth the risk. And there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
Have mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
Yeah,
As soon as there's a risk, take it off. Take it off the
I
menu.
agree. I totally agree.
Not worth it.
We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then, I'll have that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, we were talking about sayings and that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. You know, I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway. So,
Okay.
Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that?
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Well, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this. Just
Okay.
give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about. Really?
So, well, if that was it, they just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No, whoa,
What they mean now?
Who has ever lived in a glass house?
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass
Well, no,
houses?
what they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, you know, plasma tellies, ornaments.
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about because
No,
you'll break it.
no, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass
It's
house.
a metaphor. Carl, what is an analogy?
It's sort of like a little story told quickly. Isn't it?
It's a
It is,
little
though, isn't it?
story told quickly. To what end?
Well, it depends what the story is. You see, I just prefer sort of, you know, what you say is what you mean. So people who live in a glass house have to answer the door.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean,
Because-
you may be a genius, because I don't get that. People who live in glass houses have to answer the door.
Okay, let's hear his explanation.
Because the people knocking at the door will be able to see you because it's a glass house.
But you have to add a number of other things, other caveats. Surely, if you live in a glass house, don't walk around naked.
Yeah.
If you live in a...
These are literals.
But just the idea that in your head there should be sayings for people who live in glass houses. Who is it that's living in a glass
No,
house?
well, I'm not talking about them. It's just that if everyone else is bringing up about these people who are living in glass houses, let's get to the real problems they've got.
He still hasn't got to grips with the idea of the
No, but it's-
metaphor or the simile.
Well, here's another saying, right, that I learnt recently from a mate, right? Oh, there's an elephant in the room.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but explain it to me.
It's like how, you know, whenever we go out for something to eat or a drink or something, it's normally after about 5 minutes the sort of topic gets onto the shape of my head.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it's interesting how, like, I'm the elephant in the room, right? Nobody's talking about it. You mention it once, suddenly it's the talk of the town. It's what I mean. Everybody starts joining in, going, well, yeah, it is round, but it does suit you. And these are people who I don't even know sometimes, and they're all dipping in. And that is an elephant in the room.
So you don't want people to discuss the shape of your head or the lack of hair. You would feel better. You would feel happier that they didn't mention that.
Sometimes I think it's better that it's out there. It's made me a stronger person, though. It's the same way, you know, we were talking about religion and that. Samson Delilah,
Yeah.
he got weaker without hair. Whereas with me, I think it's made me stronger.
But would you ever wear a wig?
Not really.
What
I
was a
mean,
long wig like Samson?
well, the only time I wanted a wig was when I did jury duty once, right? And it was annoying that I was sat on the jury right in front of, like, these criminals, right? Everybody else has got disguises. The judges have them wigs on, right?
That's not disguise. disguises.
It is that's a disguise. That's why judges wear them, right?
No! Well, then why did they print their name in the paper and have a picture? What do you mean it's a disguise?
It's a disguise, isn't it?
No! If it was a disguise, they'd go in with one of those glasses with a nose and the beard attached if it was a disguise. All judges would look like Groucho Marx if it was a disguise.
Well, I'm just saying that's what annoyed me when I was sat there on the front row, right? I couldn't have been any closer to the criminals, right? I was sat there and I thought, why didn't I just pop a little wig on or a pair of glasses?
I would have loved to have seen you in the front row at Crown Court.
No, because
I'd love to see it because in this country you're not allowed to show pictures of jurors. You can't take photos in a courtroom. So there's always these sketch artists that draw drawings and it's on the news. The idea that we'd have seen 11 people and a sort of Krusty the Clown figure would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the artist do an interview because it would be like complicated people. Oh, hey, he looks characterful, and then just a little round head.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown sitting on the end.
Carl, you said that your New Year's resolution was that you were going to learn something every day.
yeah,
Have you learned anything today?
If I can, today, like I don't know the full facts of it, but
Could I just say that when someone says they learn something new every day, that doesn't count if they forget it the next day.
no,
Because that would be Groundhog Day learning.
well, the thing I learnt today was about an octopus.
Oh,
Go on.
What they can do is, they've got 8 legs and that.
Yeah.
They can use 6 of them legs to cover their head so they look like a little stone, and use the other 2 to run off. Right? But that's,
He's thinking of Squidly Diddly.
Yeah, it's a Disney image in his head, isn't
He's
it?
thinking
They're
of
pink.
but anyway, that's
So
that's
it's
not the
Pink
main
singing
thing.
a song in your mind and running off, yeah.
No, but anyway, but something else I learnt, right? It's mainly about animals and that, because that's
Yeah.
normally quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's a chicken somewhere,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Specific.
and the owner of it was getting fed up because, he had to feed it and that. But it wasn't.
Embellishment.
It wasn't,
Guesswork.
No, come on, let's hear it.
it wasn't giving anything back.
No eggs.
No eggs, right? So he was like, oh, I'm sick of this. Anyway, someone told him, pop a little axe next to its little house, right? So when it comes out in the morning thinking, oh, I'll have another lazy day doing nothing, right? He saw this axe and suddenly it was like, oh, right?
I'm
Next
for the
day,
chocolate thought, yeah.
it laid about 6 eggs.
It's rubbish.
Through
Squeeze them
worry.
out.
It's
Super
rubbish.
quick.
A chicken wouldn't recognise an axe as a threat. It wouldn't be able to reason that I better start working or I'll be meat. I better start. It's absolute rubbish. Once again, it's this ridiculous thing you got that one personifying animals to reasoning powers better than yours. I mean, I think you make chickens and monkeys cleverer than you in your stories, which is weird. It didn't happen and wouldn't work. Next, what else haven't you learnt today?
Do you think then that it's worth looking after animals then if there isn't any memory? If they don't know what's happening anyway, you're always going on about don't be cruel to things.
Why would you ever want to be cruel to an animal, whether it can reason or not?
No. I mean, I don't mean really cruel, but I mean like there's an advert on that's on in the in Britain, advertising some supermarket, right? And it's saying, we look at before we kill our chickens and what have you. They have a great life. This is like the voiceover, and you see Happy Chicken.
Yeah.
And it's going, we give it a good little house to live in. It's got straw.
Yeah.
It eats good.
Yeah.
And then we kill it. Right?
Yes, but that's better, isn't it?
Well, no, I don't think it is, though, is it? Because at the end of the day, if I was that chicken, right, I'm that chicken, loving my life. I can't believe me luck, right? It's got its nice little field that it's working on.
Yeah.
It's got its nice food and everything. But it's going to die.
Yeah, we're all going to die.
But then, if you were like a rubbish chicken, that had like a rubbish life, you'd be going, oh, kill me.
Carl, they're not thinking what's going to happen tomorrow.
They don't know that they're going to get for the chop, are they?
A chicken's not going, I'm fed up with this. I can't wait for that axe to be used on my neck.
Yeah. Well, that's another... now you've mentioned the cutting off of an head, right?
Yeah.
On the chicken. That's something else I've learned, right?
It's like a pinball is mine.
Amazing.
Isn't it? Ding dong, bong, dang, ding, ding, da, da. Oh, head, ding, ding, chicken, head off, bing, doing.
No, right, but this was in a proper science magazine as well. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't have a go. This wasn't something on the internet. This was printed in a magazine.
You read it.
Okay, and what was it?
And here comes the filter. it's going to come out nonsense.
Right, well-
you could have Professor Stephen Hawking sitting there whispering stuff in your ear, and it could all be true. But when you said it, gobbledygook.
Well, let's see then. Let's see, right? What they've done another experiment, right?
Yeah.
They've cut somebody's head off, right? And they've worked out that when the head comes off the body, it stays alive and that
No.
for 30 seconds.
Well, no, they don't know that. They can never know that.
No, they did it. They did this
No.
experiment.
What's alive?
The
What's
head.
alive? But there's loads of issues here. One, no one's experimenting with human beings cutting their head off, Carl.
Well,
two, no.
So you read
No.
this in what? Executioners Monthly?
This
Yeah,
is in
no,
a
two,
proper-
Carl. It's what your definition of alive is, because you can be alive and have no conscience.
No, but this is where it gets weird, right?
Yeah,
I haven't told you that.
this is where it goes. You talking about it?
So the head's off,
Yeah.
right? And what they did was they chucked a load of questions at it.
All sanctioned by the government.
Yeah, this is all fine.
So the head lands perfectly on the neck and goes, what do you want to know?
And it said
So they're asking questions, and it's going, do you know what? To be quite honest, I don't answer your question. I'm a little bit annoyed about the execution still.
well, that was the interesting thing. They said it's about
No, it's not. It didn't happen, Carl.
me hear.
Oh, don't talk
Let me
shit.
hear it.
What are you talking about? Who? These people round in white coats going, quick, ask it a question. It's bleeding.
right? So they said for about 25 to 30 seconds. The last 5 seconds, it is sort of like can't be bothered answering them.
Right, but prior to that,
But apart from that, they were chucking stuff. I don't think it spoke. I don't think it was like 2 and 2 4 and stuff. It was more. It was to do with blinking.
so blink once if you say yes, blink twice.
So it said, listen, when you die, you're probably not going to be able to talk because your jaw's going to be on the ground. You're not going to be able to open your mouth. If you do, you'll fall over backwards and hit your head. Now listen, blink 1 for yes and 2 for no. Yeah, right. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, is the axe nice and sharp? Yeah.
Promise?
You're
Do you
talking
promise?
shit again.
You promise to do it? Yes. All
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah. The thing is, they wouldn't be able to do it with you, because if they cut your head off, it would just roll. It would roll away, because it's perfectly spherical. They would go, oh no, there's
Plus,
no... Oh.
it takes about 20 seconds whenever you ask Carl anything for the question to process and for him to start to formulate an answer.
Carl, it's what we've all been waiting for. Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
Right. Well, this one sent in from Sam in New York, right? And it's about a fire that happened, right? In a really, do you know, like in New York, they have loads of big buildings, don't they?
Yeah.
Right, really, really tall ones and
Skyscrapers.
stuff. Yeah. And there was a fire in one of them, right? So they did as expected. They called up, fire brigade and that. They turned up, right? Fire engine parked up. It's like, right, where's the fire? And they said, oh, it's on like floor 100 or whatever. And they said, oh no.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Now, you probably know me from such works as The Office and Extras, Stephen being my co-writer and co-director on those things. For those people who are not so aware of Carl Pilkington, he was our producer, sort of given to us when we first started on XFM. And you're thinking, well, why are we doing a podcast? It's because I like to be in a room with Carl Pilkington. You know, like some people go and help sort of chimps.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, they go to the jungles and things.
Help out little sort of endangered
Diane
species.
Fossey or whatever.
Exactly.
You're very
yeah.
much the Diane Fossey of the Manchester scene.
Of the little bald mank world. And Carl Pilkington is an ongoing experiment for me because I've seen him blossom from an idiot into an imbecile. And I want to see it through. Look at the way he's looking at us. Look at that. He's got a perfectly round head. And that's why I'm doing this podcast. Carl, what do you think about all this?
It's just, I mean, we are living in that sort of era now, aren't we? Like, you need to be able to listen to stuff on demand when you want it and stuff.
I know you're not a fan of the iPod in general, are you? Or any of the MP3 things? You're concerned?
I'm warming to it, but
This is what's amazing about Carl. Even though he's talking about things like MP3 players, computers, iPods, he sounds like he was found in a glacier and thawed out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sort of taught to speak.
We're a couple of high school guys who found him, and we're trying to ingratiate him in the gang, trying to pass him off as someone from the modern day.
no. But my thing with iPods is, now, do we need them? Do you know what I mean? We're living in that era now where we have invented most of the stuff that we need, and now we're just messing about.
They said that in 1900. Someone actually said everything that's to be invented has already been invented. They said that in 1900. And how wrong were they?
No, but what came out? At what point? What was invented in that year where they went, right, that's it now?
The 20th century. Think what happened in the 20th century.
Go on.
Well, planes.
Yeah, but is that a good thing? Planes and that. Do you need a plane, really? Wouldn't it have been better if we all stuck where we should be instead of travelling about? War. Well, look, war's happening, isn't it? Because everyone's saying, well, now we can fly, we'll go over there.
So there were no wars prior to the invention of the aeroplane?
Not like there is today.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, the world's got smaller, hasn't it? Everyone's saying that, right?
Yeah.
The way I was saying to you the other day, we now go to places where we shouldn't go. People go on holiday to places where you've got to have an injection before you go there.
Yeah.
Forget it then. That's a warning. Don't go there.
I'm with you on that. I don't want to enter a country where I have to have an injection to stop me from dying while I'm in that country.
Right,
I totally agree with you on that.
So what happened is, they invented the plane and it's like, oh, let's go on holiday. And then they go, oh, I die now. Oh, well, you've got to invent something. Let's invent an injection. And then it's like, right, well, what else do we need to go to that place? There's a lot of faffing. So what I'm saying is... Is
that a place? A lot of faffing?
What I'm saying is, Steve's travelled more than I have. You've been to, like, dangerous places.
I've been to places where you need injections, yeah.
Yeah, but why?
Because it's fascinating, isn't it? Don't you not believe in that idea of travel broadens the mind? It makes you experience other ways of life, other ways of thinking. It just enriches you as a human being. That's the whole reason people go travelling.
But since the invention of the telly, you don't have to go that far to see it.
You're absolutely right.
So there you go then. The telly was the 20th century, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So where would you stop then? You'd stop making stuff now? Stop inventing stuff right now?
If we're going to invent something, right, forget, like, the traditional way of people having kids, right? The way they, have it away in that.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
No, like the way that, we have kids and stuff. If it'd be good if what happened was to control it is if man and woman, right, they're born and that, they enjoy their life, they learn a lot, they live to be about 78, I think, by that point.
So specific.
Yeah, 78,
No,
yeah.
but by 78, I reckon you've sort of got to that point where you go, do you know what? I've done everything I'm going to do. If you haven't bungee jumped by the time you're 78, you're not going to do it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like...
Your hips come off.
You've done it all now,
Yeah.
and then you die, right? So say if everyone had that, they live to be 78. But then, just as you die, you have a little baby inside you, and as you die, your life carries on.
Sorry.
How is
are
this
you-
happening?
Sorry, are you mental?
No, but don't you think...
I mean, what? I've never heard such drivel.
You're saying that, but if Newton said it, you'd go, interesting. That's what annoys me.
The point is, Carl, he never would. He'd never say it. That's the point.
But if you never say it,
I don't understand what you're talking about there. What? How was it? How is there a little baby in a 78-year-old?
No, what I'm saying is it's like an apple, where the apple grows and it's got its little baby pips in it, and the apple goes and the seeds are planted and a new one's born.
But that's what happens.
But that is what reproduction is.
Yeah, but I'm saying babies aren't being born left, right and centre. It's controlled so that as someone dies, someone's born.
But Carl, stop. Whose responsibility is
Look,
this?
if you don't want to do it, we won't do it. But I'm
is it
just
supposed to be nature? Has nature got to develop humans so that we act that way? We live that way, or is this a scientific experiment?
Like he said to you then, he said, look, if you don't want to do it, we don't need to do it. Like, if you were up for it, we'll sort it out. We can do that.
We'll have a wit round so we can do the research.
I just think at the end of the day, we've got to do something. And is anyone keeping an eye on this and looking at what we can do next to control the population thing? It does my head in that I've got to live in London for work and what have you, and there's loads of people here, and, you know, forget going out on a Saturday night, it's too busy, and you can't move, and they keep... I mean, what annoys me about London
So
is...
your solution is that 78-year-old women have little babies inside them, and as they slip away into death, the little babies... And how is that baby then raised?
Who looks
After the baby?
Because it's a pretty good system, having a baby while you're young enough to look after that baby and make sure it lives to, reproductive age itself.
I mean, that system's been working for years.
Nature's sort of sorted it out. Natural selection and evolution sort of makes that a good model.
But wait a minute, nature. Pop that on hold, because Carl Pilkington's got an idea.
Yeah.
That's what it was, just an idea.
Yeah, well, it was nonsense. But thank you for it.
The worst I mean, it was the ramblings of someone you'd find by themselves in a hospital eating flies.
This is the sort of thing you find when, if they find maybe a pamphlet or a booklet written by a psychopath. Someone, just before they went on a rampage and then turned the gun on themselves, they go through their possessions and they find a book and it's got weird drawings, women with knives in their face, and this kind of
In
garbage.
fact, I saw a similar sort of theory written out on a wall, but it was written in shit.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, all I'm saying is, I think it's, when people die normally, everyone's fed up about it, aren't they, and a bit down. But if when you pass away, you go, oh, we're going to miss Gladys or whatever, but then there's this new life brought in, it's almost like a bad news, good
But
news.
you're talking about it like someone could pick this idea up and run with it. Like you've given them enough information to do it. How is this possible? Where does she get the baby from? Why does it grow? Why grow it in Gladys's belly? Why not have it in a drawer?
But what I'm saying is-
ready to go, just add water. I mean...
Who looks after son of Gladys?
There is no theory here. It's the ramblings of a madman.
What I'm saying is, though, the body's always changing, innit? From caveman to now, or whatever.
In some
Changing.
cases.
And they're always finding out more and more. Like I read the other day about how they're saying, do you know, like they say, people have 6 senses.
Yeah.
There's loads more than that. Right, and there's this one.
I say, show me that you've got one.
No, right, and there's this one that's knocking about.
Go on.
That what it is. Say if I'm in a pub, right, and I'm just doing a crossword or whatever.
Unlikely, but go on.
And there's some woman who's walked in, right, and she's staring at me.
Yeah.
I know she's looking at me, and I look up and I look round, she's looking at me.
Right.
And they're saying that's a new sense that they found out from, like, doing tests and what have you.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
And they're saying
okay.
that's been around since like man and dinosaur was knocking about.
They've stopped.
No, they've
presuming-
explained
I think it's safe to assume that, that with your perfectly round head, people are always stopping and looking.
No, but they explained
You
it.
just know that there's probably going to be someone there if you look
They
right.
said it's from the time when, like, caveman was, like, wandering about, and he'd go, hang on a minute. and he'd look round, there's a dinosaur there or whatever, and he'd leg it.
This is nonsense.
Not-
I hate it when people use the term when caveman was wandering round. Caveman and dinosaurs. Oh, they used to live together. Yeah. Oh, that's the same era. Yeah. What have you been watching? Raquel Welch.
What do you mean?
Well, what do you mean caveman wandering, knocking around with a dinosaur?
You know the Flintstones is only partly based on fact. Dinosaurs and man did not coexist. The dinosaurs had long gone before man arrived. Extinct. Kaput. You don't believe us?
What, you don't believe because you've seen...
Because you saw that film where they took pictures of lizards and magnified them and put them next to men in films so they looked like they were fighting.
Yeah.
No, but why couldn't that have happened?
What is the film with Raquel Welch? A Million Years BC.
A Million Years BC or something.
A Million Years BC. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
She had a sort of woolly mammoth bikini. Fact.
But why wasn't the dinosaurs back then just like how we have dogs now, in a way?
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's watching the Flintstones.
He's thinking of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
That's what he's
when
thinking.
He puts out the saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah,
and then
yeah. And he mixes his concrete in a pelican.
Yeah.
I just think that there must have been a crossover point.
Why? Why did you say that? Why do you think there must have been
There
a
must
crossover
have
point?
been.
Because if nothing was knocking about at any point, how did anything carry on?
I know. Exactly. Why didn't Hitler meet Nero? It's weird, isn't it? There must have been a crossover. They must have met somewhere. They must have met at a party somewhere.
They mixed in similar circles.
Yeah. They must have bumped into... I can't believe it.
Forget it.
Oh.
Well, now time for one of our regular features. Monkey news.
Do the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news.
What we're doing here is just giving you a bit of monkey news that's gone on, right? Where a monkey's been involved in it. Good little story in that.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the one that went into space? The first sort of thing they ever sent up there before man did it and all that. You see, this is what annoys me with it really. Armstrong gets all the glory, but do you know who went up there before him?
A monkey.
Yeah. And what happened is they taught it what buttons to hit at the time that it needed to hit them, and the way they did this was like give it bananas. It was like hit the red button, and it hit the red button, they'd give it a banana.
Right.
And they go, right, reverse is the green one, hit the green one. And then they do that and go, there's a banana. And then they go, right, hit reverse, and it go and get a banana. Hit the red, so it was taking commands on like headphones.
Right, but how are they
Is
giving
that
it the
how you
banana?
learn to do radio?
How are they giving it the banana?
What do you mean? No, this is before it went. You wouldn't just go and put a monkey in it and go, there you go, get on with it. They'd sort of put him in one of them capsules that you get.
Yeah.
And they were on headphones.
I don't believe this happened.
Well, I'm telling you the story now. So the monkey
I don't think they trained it to do anything. I think they sent it up there and he put electrodes coming out of it to see what
it wasn't any of that. They did a thing like they do, like they can with animals. If you give something, like a treat, you can teach it how to do it. It's just like a dog, isn't it?
It's called Pavlovian conditioning. However, that was to see if it would salivate or go over to a particular corner, not if it could control a spacecraft.
Next one up. It's the next one up. As far as the monkey's not sat there going, oh, I'm a bit under pressure here, it's a rocket. All that's knowing is, I'm getting a banana if I hit that button. That's all the monkey's thinking about. Right?
They wouldn't put billions of space
But
dollars.
how can they be sure that it's going to press the button at the right moment?
Because it's got headphones on. It's not like willy-nilly. It's not just like pop it in there.
Willy-nilly, who's that?
But what's to stop it from just hitting it any old time? Because it's a monkey and it's not a human.
Because he's trained now. But
He's
anyway,
trained.
so
He's
listen,
fully trained, yeah. Go
so
on.
what happened is, anyway...
Oh, this is absolute rubbish.
They pop the monkey in there.
Yeah.
He's got his headphones on. They're going, right, hit the green one. And I think there's something there that a little banana comes out to keep the same...
No, you're making this up.
I'm not, it's the same...
There's no way that they made a spacecraft that had a banana dispenser.
Right,
There's no way in this world that they made a spacecraft that could go into outer space, right? Manned by a monkey with a banana dispenser.
So you're saying that it's easy to send something up to space, but you don't believe there's a little banana machine?
Right, okay,
So it comes to the launch day, monkeys sat in there, everyone's ready, bananas are stocked up and all the rest of it. They go, right, hit the green button. right, and the rocket goes off and what have you.
No, they would not make the monkey launch the rocket. Carl,
So-
you are living in a cartoon world.
So the rocket goes off, right?
This is absolute bollocks.
It's all going well.
I don't know
It's
what you're
all-
going to... It's not going well.
it's going
There's
well.
no way a monkey launched
It's
a
going-
rocket. There is no way a monkey launched a rocket, you
So
idiot.
it's all going on. So they go and hit the left button, and it goes a little bit left.
Left button.
Right, so-
Well-known spacecraft command. This is Houston. Hit the left button. Oh, brilliant! This is what happened in Apollo 13. Hit the left button.
So it
you
goes left. Yeah, it goes left.
So it goes left, and it's going well.
Left. It goes left.
Yeah.
No, the moon. You're going right.
It goes for the moon. Everything's going well.
Right.
They get up there. It does whatever it does. It reverse. It comes back. Right. So then
You are honestly, you are brain dead.
So it's
you are
long-
one of the most stupid people. That I would rather have the monkey drive me
listen.
home than you.
So the thing is, so it lands back.
Yeah.
It does a good job and everything. It gets out. And this
It's sick of bananas.
This is where it turns a bit sad, because after it's done that mission, right? Because it happened and it was all safe and everything. The next one would have been to send man.
Right.
So the monkey enjoyed it, and it was like, well, I want to do it again, right? But they were like,
So how did they know that? How did they know? he wanted to-
just the way it looked and what have you. It was like,
Fuck off! Just the way it looked.
So-
you are a maniac.
so the thing is though, right? So after it had done that, it was on such a high, right?
Yeah.
It could never get that high again.
Turned to drugs?
There was nothing that it could do.
Went on tour, did it?
It sort of ended up killing itself. Because it could never get that buzz that it
Right,
got.
that was absolute bollocks. None of that is true, except they sent a monkey into space, and I'll check that. Absolute drivel.
So in your mind, it committed suicide. It went on a crazy bender, drinking drugs and women. And
like
then,
it does happen. You
and then
hear
it was
about
found
it.
in
You
a
hear about
motel
it.
room.
I met Derek Acora the other week,
oh yeah.
right?
Now, who's he? Which one's he?
He's
Is he a medium? He can contact the dead. Is that right?
he just chats to him and that, passes
Sure.
messages on.
Nice of him.
So I said, "Oh, tell us something a bit weird and that." So he said, "What do you want to know?" I said, "Just something weird." So he goes, "All right then." He said, "Here's one for you, right?" And he said, "There's this pub out in the country, and he said there's this mug. Do you know those old mugs that they have, where they used to like leave their own cup knocking
Like a
about, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
Tankard thing."
Yeah.
So there was one of them mugs in there, right? And everybody
Tankard. Let's use tankard if we've
All right,
established
a
that's the word.
tankard, yeah.
Because you're the only mug in this story.
Right.
Nice.
Believe in it all.
High five. Great.
So this tankard's knocking about, right? And everyone who's running the pub keeps going, "Oh, I wish they'd stop leaving this tankard about," right? And they pick it up.
It must be a pain. Having a tiny, small tankard in a pub. That must be a real grind.
So every they sort of picked it up and went, "We'll have to wash that," and they popped it on a different sideboard. Next thing you know, that person who's touched it died, right?
Sure.
So,
They must have been getting through bar staff.
so they kept getting in new staff and that. And they were like, "Oh, what's the connection here?" Right?
What's the connection here?
Oh God.
They get a vicar in
Of course they do.
and they go, "Look, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. This tankard, every time someone touches it, they die." So he said, "Leave it with me." He gets his special water out and what have you. He comes round, does a little prayer, sprinkles it. He goes, "Right, not a problem, don't worry about it." He picks it up, chucks it in the bin. Guess what?
What?
Dies in a crash on the way home. Because he picked it up.
Well, but Carl, you're telling me this like it's fact, and I'm meant to go, "That's
Derek
amazing."
Acora, he told me.
Carl, I have no opinion of that story other than I'm pretty sure there was absolutely no connection between touching the tankard and him dying. That's all I'm sure
It's
of.
not just him though, is it? It's-
I'm not going to even contest the chain of events. All I'm saying is there is no connection. There is no connection possible because I believe in logic and the laws of the universe.
Yeah, but what I mean, you never pick up a vibe of. Like, I've got a mate, right, who he's living in this big stately home, right, and he's living in there now. He pays £100 a month. There's about 80 rooms,
Gee.
and it's this big stately house and what have you. And I went down there. He said, "Oh, come down and have a look," right. I And from outside, you go, oh, this is brilliant. It's like something out of, you know, like the Man of Born or something. You go, this is impressive. But then when you get in, it's like it's a wreck, and we go in, and all the floors are like a wreck and rotten and stuff. And I looked at the wall, and there was like a little piece of paper stuck on the wall, right? And I said, what's this here? So I wandered over, right? Got right up close to it, and somebody had wrote it.
Somebody had wrote it.
Oh,
Somebody had wrote it.
Right, go on.
So there's a little sign there, right? And I go up to it, and it says flies, right, with an arrow. Flies this way, right? I think that's a bit weird. So I follow the arrow, right, which goes to this corner where there's a shelf, about 3,000 dead flies on it.
Oh my God.
Condom stuck on the top. That's weird, isn't it?
That is weird.
That is weird, right? So I'm looking at that, and there's loads of stuff on the floor and that, bits of paper. Picked up this bit of paper, right? And it had, like in biro and that, it looked really old, like it'd been there years. And it had something like, need nappies, dummy, right? Blankets, blah, blah, all this, like, all stuff for, like... And I turned it over, right? And it said, none of this now needed, baby dead.
Right.
Now that's weird, isn't it? Now that's what I'm talking about when you get a bad vibe. You go, that's who's been in here.
It's bad vibe. It's just based on the fact that
Your mate's in charge.
yeah, that's terrifying. I mean, yeah, so it's like saying, are we scared of the dark? Yes, I understand why people are scared of the dark. I'm a little bit scared of the dark. You're walking along.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, you don't know what's in the darkness. That's why people get nervous. It doesn't mean you have to make the leap then that you've got some paranormal sense. Oh my God, I'm Carl Pilkington, and hang on. Just like Derek Acora, I have sensed something strange and evil in this room. Wait a minute, there's some flies in a condom. I was right all along.
That is weird.
Flies in a Johnny equals badness.
the flies in the condom was weird.
It's weird. I don't know.
But the note.
Yeah.
I just think of his face when he saw that, reading it by torchlight. He must have been terrified.
It's a bit odd, isn't it?
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
So, Red Nose Day, Comic Relief, has come round again.
Yeah, Red Nose Day is obviously the very specific date in the calendar for the whole generic term comic relief, I think.
It's normally when the telecast happens.
Yeah.
People know that that's the day when they can dress up, do charitable acts. But of course, Comic Relief is a charity that's working all the time for disenfranchised all over the world. Have you always been a strong champion of Comic Relief, Carl?
Not really.
Why was I expecting that answer?
But I do loads of stuff without going on about it.
My gift to the world has been you, Carl, to be quite honest. I feel that you're the world's
I'm
now.
sure there's people in Africa going, we prefer blankets.
Yeah.
Doing a wills charity, isn't it?
Is it?
Sort of.
I mean,
No, it is.
if you make a donation to a charity within the will, I suppose that's quite charitable. But
Do you
just
mean-
giving money to your relatives isn't, is it?
Of course it is.
Well,
They shouldn't have it.
They're
They
getting something for nothing, but it's. I don't know. It's giving something away that you have no use for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
mean,
but forget that. It's someone is getting something when
Yeah.
they've done nothing for it, really.
Well, it is. I suppose it is charity, but charity is usually infused with some sort of altruism. It's like it's not charity on your part because you're literally not around anymore. So it's no longer you giving it. It's just some
Yeah, but
money
I could
there
either
was.
give it them or not give it them. Once I'm dead and I've turned to mush, I shouldn't be worrying about Suzanne's mum getting a table.
Is that what
you
you're
know-
leaving her?
Well, I called up my dad first.
Why are you
and said-
doing a will for the show?
Because of this travel thing
Right,
I'm doing, and it can get dangerous, you know.
But why haven't you done a will up to now?
Because you sort of, I don't know, I felt sort of young and free. Whereas now I'm...
That's never two words I've associated with Carl. He's always seemed like a man who's in his late 50s.
Yeah,
and
exactly,
I've certainly
yeah.
never the idea that you're free.
It's more-
Even if we're just talking about the head alone, it's the head of a late 50-year-old.
Free of hair?
Yeah, totally free of fucking hair.
I'm sort of getting on first name terms with my doctor.
Oh, really?
Chatting more. Oh, what is it this time?
How's your middle finger?
You
Not
know.
too bad, Carl.
All that sort of thing. So it's just made me think,
Have you had that done for the will, by the way, for insurance
I think
and
you
stuff?
need to, don't you, for a will?
I think you do.
there's nothing on the
prostate
paper.
exam?
No.
No, listen, for insurance purposes, I think you need to have a testicular exam for testicular cancer. You're just leaving the high risk for testicular cancer, actually, and you're entering the high risk for prostate cancer.
And you can have both at the same time.
You could have both
the
at the same
examination
time,
at the same time.
if he's a very dexterous doctor.
I wouldn't want that.
Why? Too much like
It's just too
Too
much
playful.
going on. It's like someone juggling you.
yeah, it's like being examined by Squiddly Diddly.
And so you said you called up your dad.
Called him up. I said, "Is there anything you want if I die?"
Right. And presumably, you know, Suzanne, she's getting the lion's share.
She is. But then the fella who was on the end of the phone talking us through it all was going, "Oh, you should get married." I was going, "Oh, shut up." He's saying, "Well, it make things a lot easier when it comes to this." And it's like, well, that isn't a reason to get married, is it?
Well,
So she can have all my stuff. I said, I've wrote on the bit of paper that she can have it. But it's something about tax. If you're not married, you have to hand over more. I think you get so much and then it's like ridiculous tax rate.
yeah.
But she's going, that's why we should get married. I'm going to be paying tax. I'm going, hang on a minute. She's already like thinking about money loss instead of me disappearing.
Yeah.
She's going, yeah, we should. I said, look, you'll be getting a load of money. I said, if I die on this programme anyway, I'm insured. You'll be
Yeah.
getting about £1 million for that.
Yeah,
I said, so that's something you haven't got now.
yeah,
Got nowhere near that now. I said, so even if you have to pay tax on that,
yeah.
I don't think it'd be right to get married just in case I get killed.
Have your two sets of parents met?
No.
That'd be good, would it?
Well, I suppose it's a reason to, isn't it? At least if you're getting married, there's a reason for them to meet. At the moment, there's no reason for them to meet. They'd get on each other's nerves. My dad wouldn't get on with a man.
Right.
Just wouldn't. She doesn't like me, so she won't like me dad. Because he's just an exaggerated version. So, I think it doesn't need to happen.
But you could just nip down the registry office, get it done and dusted, and you just phone up your folks and say, it's already happened.
I
it's too
said
late."
that. I said, listen, if we had to do it, I said if it was like we've got to do it for some reason, I said I'd do that. We can have it done by 2. You can be back in work for 3. Because at the end of the day, there's no, you know, we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
We're not going to suddenly turn into some sort of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan film just because we got married.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same, exactly the same.
Yeah. Me and Jane were out with them and Suzanne the other night, right, at dinner, and honestly, he is so grumpy. He was saying about for Christmas, right? He said, you've had a flaw. You've had a flaw. Now, what did that mean?
We had a new floor put in
But how is that her flaw?
because she wanted it.
But you walk on it too.
I paid for it. I don't understand what
But
you
don't
mean.
you understand that, like, you know, a romantic break or clothes or perfumes, you know, sort of things that are kind of indulgent for a lady, that's a gift. Not
Yeah.
a new floor.
That is like something you give to some little African fella on Comic Relief. In fact, I think I saw it once. He didn't have a floor.
Exactly.
They built him a floor. I remember watching it with you, and they gave him a new pair of shoes and the floor. He went, hold on, floor or shoes, not both. So you think charity is all right as long as people don't get above their station with charity?
I think it should be there as a little booster.
Right,
They've always got their hand out.
right.
And it's been like that since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid, people knocking on the door, my mum going, don't look at the door, there's someone there. And we'd just pretend they weren't
Charity
there.
starts at home, not at your home.
No, but because it's all the time. I mean, my mum didn't like answering the door anyway, even if it was the pools man, she'd sort of say, don't move, and he might not see that we're here.
So you just froze where a man was at the door,
Well, you just, because the front room was near the door, so people
Right.
could see in.
right?
So you just sort of stayed there and pretend that either you
Well, so
can't hear
like
him.
some sort of predator, like they can't see you if you don't move.
Well, even if he was peering in through the window and he could see you in there and not moving.
So he looked through, and there was 3 people just frozen, right, like statues, right, just their eyes looking at him,
Yeah.
and
well,
him confused.
Well,
like-
they're clearly dead. I'll move on. There's obviously been a gas leak.
And did you say sitting or stand up, or did you sort of like throw yourself
No,
to
we
the
just,
floor?
we just sat on the, you know, where you were, and you just stayed still.
But did he ever look in and see?
I
you
don't
sit-
know, because you didn't turn round, did you?
So you would pretend you couldn't hear the door?
It seemed to be the 80s, had a lot of it, because it was
Yeah.
all the Avon thing, wasn't it? It was perfume,
Yeah.
Tupperware.
What?
Tupperware.
Tupperware.
Yeah, the plastic boxes.
It's dishes for fat people. Here we go. Oh, these are big. Good they are. They're for fat fuckers like you to eat out of.
Just a lot of charity stuff. Just a lot. It seemed to be the time, the 80s, that they suddenly found out they can sort of scav money off people.
Okay, right. Let's do the scenario. I'm at the door. I can see you in there. You might as well come open the door. Carl, why are you staying so still? Are you trying to avoid me?
It's working.
Carl, your eyes are moving. Can you come to the door, please?
I suppose in the end you've got to move on.
Carl, no, I'm going to stay here. I'm just going to stay here until you have to move. Carl. Okay, and I'll move on then. Right.
It works.
Yeah.
Works
okay.
perfectly.
Because
Brilliant.
once they've got you, that's the whole thing with charity. Once they've stopped you in the street, if you've stopped, that's it.
Keeps on going.
I mean, the good thing now is you've got an iPod, so you can just either pretend you're on the phone or listen to music.
Or just stay very still. Just freeze when someone says, "Can I trouble you?" Oh, he's totally frozen.
That would be amazing because they're normally in one spot, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's just
So
they're
as soon
carrying
as
on
they
selling,
stop you,
and
so
you've
that
got
you're
to
just
stay there for
freezing.
the rest of it outside Waitrose
Yeah.
for 7 hours.
Yeah, it goes dark. Well, I've finished my shift, I'm off. And then you just see, your eyes just see them walk away like that, and they all meet in their little tunics. And then you start walking, they look back, and you freeze. And then they walk on, and then you can go home 7 hours late.
Ever since I was young, I've always liked going in charity shops, particularly because, you know, you find sort of interesting old records in there. Never sort of gone in there to buy clothes and stuff, but, you know, books, whatever. And, I was in a charity shop, you know, and I've patronised them for years, and I noticed out through the window there was like a paparazzi guy, and he was taking pictures of me through the window. That was a bit weird. And obviously the old ladies in there didn't have any idea who I was, so they just thought that was a bit strange. And then it was in one of the magazines, like the kind of celebrity magazines. It was, oh, here's Steve Merchant. You know, despite all the money he must have made from his various projects, he's still going in charity shops. And you just think, but sorry, how is that a bad thing?
Yeah.
I give a lot of stuff to charity. A lot. Most of the time, just because it's nearer than the wheelie bin is. It's just a way of getting rid of garbage most of the time with me. Stick it all in a bin bag, good stuff on the top, the stuff that you're embarrassed about,
Yeah.
stick it in the bottom of the bag.
What are you
Run
embarrassed
in,
about?
Just old shoes, trainers,
Some of the books you've written.
socks, underpants.
Underpants. You do not give underpants to charity.
Washed.
But who's gonna washed, I know, as opposed to just like peeling them off.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I don't know why you've got a problem with underpants, but shoes. You see, I'd
Who's
never buy
buying
shoes.
underpants from a charity
Yeah.
shop, though? I mean, I don't care how low you are on the socio-economic level.
I know.
You can get about 14 pairs for £1 in some places.
I know. I don't know who's buying underpants. I don't know who's buying your underpants. I definitely don't know.
I mean, if they were signed...
yeah.
That is something. That is something I like doing though. When I've given to charity, I like going past the shop and seeing if it made it in the window.
Any success?
Yeah, recently the one not far from here had me egg cups in the window. So it's like, oh look, there's.
What,
there's
you've
that.
got a new set of egg cups, so you've got rid of your old ones?
Yeah.
I don't think we've got any egg cups.
Haven't you?
But there's nothing wrong. Honestly, it's hardly. I mean, it's made the window space. That's how good it was. It had hardly been used, that egg cup, because it was a doubler, and I think they were quite small for the egg size that I get. I think they were made more for the small egg, and I have the large egg.
Right.
So it was never really
Just
used.
like your underpants.
But a bit of a dilemma that my Auntie Nora had. She likes charity shops as well. She's got a neighbour. Went out to Graceland's, big Elvis fan. Came back. She said, "How was Graceland's?" I said, "Oh, it was brilliant. We've got a gift for you." Right? They get out this clock, like a little sort of. It's like a Swiss. You know, the Swiss sort of looks like a little
clock.
house, like a cuckoo clock. But on the hour, little Elvis comes out the top and goes, right? So she went, "Oh, cheers." She's not really into Elvis. She's more into Jim Reeves and
Yeah.
Glenn Campbell and stuff.
Yeah.
But what can you say? She said, "Oh, thanks for that." She took it in the house.
Maybe they could get attachments. Maybe you get a little Jim Reeves to pop on the spring, and that pops out, or whoever. You
So
know.
anyway, it's in the house. She's thinking, "I'm not going to put that up. It's not her sort of thing." So thinks, give it to charity.
Of course.
Goes down to the charity shop, gives them that, thinks nothing of it, goes off to the pub for afternoon drink. Anyway, next day she's going out for afternoon drink again. Passes the charity shop. It's in the window.
And the chances are her friends are going to pass by. Of
That was a dilemma.
course.
She had to buy it back.
That's brilliant.
At a hugely inflated price. Comic Relief here is a sort of... it happens every other year. And, you know, people often do things in their workplace or at school. They can dress up, they can raise money in different fun ways. And we were told in a school assembly, was Comic Relief next Friday, everyone has to come along dressed up in fancy dress to school on that day.
Has to.
Yeah, they said have to dress up.
That's annoying, isn't it?
So, of course, I'm looking forward to this, because, you know, I'm a sort of aspiring comedian and that. Get to dress up like a clown, right? Spent
Wow.
quite a lot of time getting the old clown outfit together.
What did that look like?
The
What-
shoes, obviously, I just wore my regular shoes.
Exactly, yeah.
But I had the red nose, a wig,
Wow.
you know, the whole deal. Big bow tie that my mum made for me, like, you know. I thought this is going to be the best day ever, right? Get to school, I want you to picture this scene, right? During the assembly in my class of 30. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school uniform. Lanky kid dressed as a clown. School uniform, school uniform, school uniform, school. So obviously no one showed up. Dressed
what-
like an utter dick, except me and about 2 other knobs.
What disappoints me is that for a man who was a self-confessed aspiring comedian, you chose the least funny thing in the world to dress as.
Yeah.
Clowns are anti-comedy. They suck comedy out of the room. It's not...
You're right, and this is from a man who wanted to dress as Hitler at the Golden Globes.
No, that's
He
funny.
knows funny costumes when he thinks. But you were saying about the guys who bother you in the street. Did I tell you that when I pretended to be foreign to try and get out of that? Did I tell you that story?
Amazing.
I've periodically used this method throughout my life, and not so long ago a guy stopped me with one of those charity tunics, and I sprang into my old trick. I was like, sorry, I don't...
An elderly Russian woman.
I don't know what voice that is. I don't know what accent
it
that's supposed to
went
be.
from vaguely French
Yeah.
to sort of Eastern European beggar.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And the guy, and I was sort of, I don't, he was, well, just let me explain to you about it. Sorry, I'm not from, and the guy...
This world.
Yeah.
I am from planet Snork.
And the guy said, are you Stephen Merchant?
No.
Swear to
Sorry.
God.
Not when you were famous.
Oh, yeah.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, because it hadn't occurred to me. It was like a lapse of
No!
concentration.
God.
It was a
almighty.
lapse of concentration because,
And did your bow tie spin round and you squirted in the water and ran away? That's what I'd have done.
because, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you don't always remember that you've been on the... It's not like I instantly remembered that.
Amazing.
So he says, are you Stephen Merchant? And then you're at this position where you've got to go, either you've got to admit what you did, or you've got to carry on the lie. And I chose the second one. So I was kind of like, I don't know who that is. What? I don't know what you're... And he was like,
Oh, God.
really? You look a lot like him. I was going, I've never heard, I don't...
In fact, you are Stephen Merchant. Freeze.
I'm always getting stopped for. I mean, there's so many charities now. It's not just starving people anymore. It's everything.
Yeah.
One little fault, they're out there with a clipboard
Yeah,
asking for your bank
a
details.
lot of new diseases have
Definitely.
cropped up.
But that shouldn't be allowed. I think they should have, like, 1 year where they go, this year, you know, hungry people.
Right.
Next year, people with a limp. Or just like they do with the China thing, with the year of the cat, year of the rabbit. It's very clear.
Yeah.
It's that year. That's who we're helping this year.
Right.
If you've got that problem, it's your year. You're going to have a good one.
And who decides?
Just have some meeting. Just have a meeting with
What would be the
charity.
first year? What would be the first year? This year?
Right, well, we'd look at it and we'd go, right, what are we hearing a lot of problems about? And someone goes, so-and-so's hungry. Go, right, are we all in? Are we in to give this lot food? And we're not just going to give
So
them
it's
food.
not everyone who's hungry, it's specific people. So it's like hungry...
Starving, people who are starving. If someone goes, oh, my kid's deaf, well, maybe next year. Maybe next year. It's not your turn this time. We can't help everyone at once. Because that's
Right.
life, isn't it? You've got to give and take in your own life. There's things that
Right.
I want, I can't have, I do without, have something else
But
that's
there's
more
so many
important.
causes that
Right.
Well,
it
that's
could
what I'm
wait
saying,
20
Steve.
years before your
Okay.
charity
I know,
comes
but
round.
what can you do then? Because we're not sorting it all out anyway,
I'm paraplegic.
right?
Oh, I need help really bad.
So does everyone else.
Well, why are you giving it to the hungry now?
Because if we don't help the hungry now,
Right,
they can't wait. You can wait.
right. Oh, God, I'm blind.
Is this a different person now?
Yeah, I'm blind.
Right, well, you're not hungry though, are you?
Well, a bit peckish.
Yeah, well,
Where's the fridge? I can't find the fridge. Can you help me to the fridge?
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll be hungry as well. I'm blind and hungry. I'm blind and hungry because I don't know where the fridge is.
who's let you in?
But Carl, this is just it's
Just
a
some
chaotic
order.
idea. It's
It's
a chaotic because people who are hungry, there's always going to be people who are hungry.
Yeah, but I sort the problem out.
How do you sort it out?
Because I'll go, right, not only are we just giving you food,
Right.
we're giving you some seeds. We're giving you a pan.
What,
We're
you
giving
think they haven't
Let
thought
me
of
hear
that?
the theory, please.
Sort it out. Don't just give food. That's going to run out.
Right.
Give them a proper... You see, the problem is, there's companies who jump on the back of all... Do you know when I was in the
Okay.
jungle? When
Right,
I was in the jungle,
yeah.
right? On that travel thing.
Yeah.
I was in that tribe, right? Now, some company had given that tribe a laptop because it makes them look good. They can send out a press release. Well done to so-and-so computers.
Right.
They supplied the tribe in, you know, out at Amazon with a computer. I saw it. They were using it as a breadboard because they don't know what it is. They've got no electric. It's useless to them.
Right.
And that's what charity does.
Right.
Companies use it to make them look good. When I was there and I really needed to go to the toilet, I was thinking, tribe, I wonder what their toilet facilities are like, right? Thinking it might be better than just doing it in a hole. Surely they've built a toilet. They're not stupid people. They kill animals. They know what they're doing. They know how to cook. Surely they've built some sort of unit. Turns out they don't. They still do it in a hole. But some company had been there, some plumbing firm, and given them a toilet, right? The bloke who, you know, the producer who was out there, he said, oh, you'll be happy. There's a toilet round the back there. I'm thinking, oh, brilliant. I go round there, it is a toilet, but it's not plumbed in.
Sure.
So it's just a vase with shit in it. It doesn't work, and this is what we need to do. We need to get out there and say, this is how it works. Educate them.
Okay, so let's do this then. So I'm a starving African.
Hello, Carl. Have you got any food? Got any food? Got any sandwiches?
Well, I have,
Starving.
but if I
Right.
give you my sandwich,
Yeah.
there's someone else behind you,
Right,
and they'll
okay.
all come out.
Acordo cedo cansado, um peso nos meus ombros, livros na mochila, é só mais um dia. Olhares julgadores, o quadro me encara, provas e respostas, minha mente se embaraça. Escola de sombras, lutando pra sobreviver, entre muros e salas, quero escapar e viver. Amigos que não vejo, entre caos e tarefas, a pressão me consome, o tempo não espera. Em meio ao barulho busco minha voz, perdido nos corredores, tentando me encontrar nós. A vida lá fora parece tão distante, nas aulas de matemática o futuro é um gigante. Acordo cedo cansado, o peso nos meus ombros, livros nos mochila, é só mais um dia. Olhares julgadores, o quadro me encara, provas e respostas, minha mente se embaraça. Escola de sombras, lutando pra sobreviver, entre muros e salas, quero escapar e viver. Amigos que não vejo, entre caos e tarefas, a pressão me consome, o tempo não espera. Em meu barulho busco minha voz, perdido nos corredores, tentando não encontrar nós. A vida lá fora parece tão distante, nas aulas de matemática o futuro é um gigante.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that alright?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
I got a text from Carl yesterday, Steve.
A text from Carl, yeah.
Yeah. I'll just read it to you. Okay, see you to Moz for a face rub at 6:30 then. No bum tubes, though. So I was intrigued, and I called Carl and said, I think you've just sent me a text by mistake. What's the explanation of that?
My mate, right, Russell, he said, you know, there's things that go on in life that you need to experience.
Yeah?
He said, just pop along, and I didn't say yes straight away.
What's a face rub? You mean a facial? Where you lay down...
You just clean your face with a flannel and that.
So you're going to go lie down with another man and have your face
Well,
fiddled
no,
in?
this is what I was saying to him. There's a couple of questions. I didn't just say yes straight away. I questioned it. I said, well, I'm not that happy with this. I said, look, there's nothing weird going on here, is there? I said, it's not a house, is it? It's a proper clinic and that. He said, yeah, it's proper. You wear a dressing gown and that. I said, well, I'm not that.
So he's
happy with
already
that.
got you in the dressing gown?
Yeah, well, I haven't agreed to that. Today I've worn a little round polo neck sort of jumper so I don't have to take it off. It's not going to get in the way of my face. I made sure I didn't wear a shirt with a collar. I'm not taking this off. They can put the dressing gown on top of this.
Right.
I don't know if it's a woman who rubs my head. Don't know if it's a bloke or whatever.
Well, the thing is, you get extra, don't you, for your face rub, because your face goes all the way back over the top of your head down to the back of your neck.
But all I was,
so you've got a big face, haven't you?
All I was saying to him is, I'll have the face rub, but I don't know if once you're in there,
Right.
they try and sell you the bum tube thing.
What's the bum tube? Is that a euphemism? What are you talking about?
The thing where they pop a tube in and put coffee in your belly and it cleans you out and that.
An enema? Why would you have that?
I don't want it. I don't think
Why
you need
not?
to. Just because I think I've said to you before about, you don't need to be that clean inside. You know what I mean? I don't mind washing my face. But what occasion do you need where you're that cleaned out? Do you know what I mean? And it's always a clear tube and that, and you see all the stuff whizzing past. I don't understand why it's clear. I don't know why you've got to see what's coming out of you. Like it's, like the generation game, making notes of what's whizzing past. Forget it.
I was watching some different TV, saw an amazing documentary. It was called Tribes. This guy, and he goes and lives with different tribes around the world, these small little indigenous people. And there was one, he went to Papua New Guinea in Indonesia, all right, Carl? He lived with the Kombai tribe, all right? Now, this Papua New Guinea is an extraordinary place because it is one of the only places left on Earth that hasn't been fully explored. There are parts of it that it's just blank on the map because they've never explored there. They don't know what's there, they don't know what's going on. So, firstly, that must already freak you out. Imagine that. 21st century, they have no idea what's going on down there.
But do they need to know if there's nothing going on?
Well, they don't know what's going on. There could be stuff going on.
No, but there's no chance that they'll go, we haven't been over there, and someone goes and there's like an Arndale centre. Nothing's going to be there, is it? So there's no...
Well,
no
I'll tell you
point.
what is there, okay? There's these various small tribes. Some of these tribes are still cannibals, eating people from other tribes.
Do they know they could move on? Have they got a telly? Or have they seen a telly and gone, I'm not up for that? Or are they saying...
It's not the Amish.
They haven't chosen
But what
this.
is the difference between the Amish and these people?
Well, the Amish are a group of people that choose to live in that way. These people are just essentially untouched by civilization. I mean, they do have interaction with civilization and people do come there, but they still live in this very, very almost prehistoric way.
They did buy a telly, but there was nothing on because there isn't any broadcasters.
They couldn't plug it in.
Yeah.
They're having an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
But there was one guy, okay, now he said that his brother was dying. This was a couple of years ago, right? His brother was dying. He said to his dying brother, what happened? Why are you dying? This guy said it was a bloke in another village. Okay, he goes over to the other village. He kills this other bloke, right? He eats him, or eats bits of him. The other village gets a bit annoyed. They go, what's going on? Why did you kill this bloke? He went, sorry about that, right? They said, well, you need to make it up to us. He gave him a pig. They said, a pig's not enough. They gave him 5 pigs, so 5 pigs apparently made up for the fact that they'd killed one of them. They said, well, hang on, what are you going to do with this bloke's wife?
Why were they bartering? Why didn't they just get the police in and say, what's going on?
What police?
Yeah. Why didn't they call in Kojak? Because he'd have sorted it out, wouldn't he?
What I mean is, right, they're miles away from anything, but it doesn't sound like the great place to live, right? Could they not move? Could one of them go, do you know what, I'm sick of this. I'm moving or whatever and go to a proper city. How far away is this these Papa people to the next?
They're like the Smurfs. They're very like the Smurfs.
But how many miles away from a place with a normal life going on?
But think about this, Carl. Firstly, they don't speak the language. So they don't have any practical skills. They've got no experience of civilization. So even if they chose to go and live in one of these cities, what can they do? How can they function?
I think there's some bacteria that has better lives than that.
That's got to be offensive.
Why?
Okay, how about this is one of the weirdest things. This is one of the weirdest things, right?
Sorry. An entire people, an entire race
Just
of
dismiss.
people.
No,
I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying I wouldn't fancy it, is what I mean.
But they
You know what I mean?
don't
We're living
know
in
of
ice.
another world. How can they imagine that they could... Oh, I'll tell you what, this is boring. I'm tired of hunting for food and eating fish from the river. I'll tell you what, I'd like a world where there's iPods and room service. I'm going to go and move to New York. They're not thinking like that, are they, Carl? Because they don't know about this other world.
People go to these places on holiday now. They like a little bit of danger. They like to see how the others live. So all I'm saying is we know they exist. The Papa people, maybe people aren't going there. It doesn't sound like the best place. I can't imagine it having a tourist board or anything, right? But would they accept me if I popped over there and, with Suzanne in Papa?
Well, okay, this is one of the things that they do, okay, which is a tradition you may have to do. These combine, right, they invert their penises. So they push their penises back up inside their bodies.
Like a sock.
What for?
Well,
Keeps it out of the way.
Of what?
Well, if you're running through the undergrowth chasing a hog, you don't want it flapping away,
But
it's also become a kind of ceremonial thing. So if you were over there, you may well have to try it yourself.
You would have to try it yourself. If you went there, you'd have to try it yourself.
Definitely.
But even caveman had little pants on. Why haven't they?
Whoa!
Slow down.
Rewind.
What do you mean?
Again, you've been watching the Flintstones.
No. It's just
Is it a leopard skin pair of pants that's actually quite a... Go on.
But it's a well-known fact that they wore like bear pants or whatever.
Bare pants. What do you mean, bare pants? No. Listen, you are a qualified anthropologist. So what?
I mean that whenever you see them on footage or in a museum,
footage.
Yeah.
Or-
Whenever
or
you
like-
see that
Well,
early
it's a bit
documentary
shaky,
footage.
it's black and white as well, isn't it? Caveman footage.
you always see them wearing a little bit of fur little pants and that. So what I'm saying is, even though what year is it to these people in the woods?
I don't know what this conversation is anymore. He's just clutching at straws. His mind, it's like a fly. His mind, isn't it? It's just buzzing round. It's trying to find a window. It is just
It's
like
hitting against pieces of information, but then just bouncing off.
Yeah.
Dazed to perplexed.
Forget it then.
I was shopping with Carl before Christmas, and we went round sort of Piccadilly and St James's, and those really beautiful shops around there. And I went in one shop. You had to ring a bell to enter.
Yeah.
They came down, and it's like a iconoclastic sort of shop, and they found things from churches and nearly all Russian 16th century pieces onwards. This beautiful carvings and paintings and statues. And I went, oh, it's beautiful. And as I was looking round, I heard Carl sidle up to the bloke and go, what's the newest thing you've got here?
Yeah, sure, that's his first thought.
I mean, that is the wrong question to ask of a man who's clearly in antiques.
Yeah.
Proud of the fact he's got 16th century iconoclastic Russian stuff, to ask, what's the newest thing you've got here? What sort of question is that? Oh, I don't know, probably the doorbell. I don't know, what does he want to say? Oh, my shirt. What were you thinking?
hoping for?
I think it's an alright question, because he was saying there's loads of old stuff in there, and he kept going on about the old stuff. So what was to say? Well, what's the newest thing you've got?
And what was?
Do you know
the
what he
newest
said
thing?
to it? The other question he asked him? He said, how often do you get new stuff in? And I said to him, why did you ask that? He said, well, I was thinking, if you got antiques and you sell it all, what's left? Like someone's going to sell all the antiques in the world because they're not making any new stuff. What does that mean? They're not making any new stuff.
But I know for a fact no one's ever going to go in there and buy the lot anyway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not at any point in my life, and I don't think it'll ever happen, will I go, I need some old Russian wood. Because
It was brilliant.
No,
Steve,
no.
it was beautiful. It's amazing stuff. There's stuff. There's these things from the 16th century of sort of like saints and monks, and they're carved and
There's
they're.
loads of it. It's just all piled up. No one's interested. If I was him, I'd go, do you know what? I'm into this, but no one else is. Close shop. Because seriously, it's just piled up, piles on piles of like old bits of wood with pictures on it and that.
But
There was
think
one
of a
fella-
man. Just think of a man 400 years ago that carved this.
No, but nobody wants it, do they? I've never heard anyone say, oh, look, it's my birthday coming up. I'll tell you what I'd love.
What?
Bit of old Russian wood. It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. I've never heard anyone saying it. Like, I've never overheard someone saying, you don't know where the Russian shop is, do you? And this is in London where the rates are high. There was this thing, right, Steve? There them old drawings on like.
It was like a panel from a church that someone had
Okay,
painted,
right, yeah.
and I think it was like, you know, from sort of like 1590 or something.
Yeah.
And it was this a picture of this saint, wasn't it?
So 1590, it could be from any time, really. So there's this one there, right, leaning up against the wall, and most of them in there was that Stalin bloke, right? But there was this little fella.
Right, can I just stop you there? Lenin.
Right,
Okay.
all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was on all these bits of wood and stuff, but I saw this other little face, right, little fella with a beard, right? So I said, who's this bloke here? He said, the story there, right? He said, it's this little fella, and he got mugged back in Russia. This is right, isn't it? This is what he was saying. He said he got mugged.
It's just that term, that I love that term in a 16th century Russian wood. Oh no, I'm being mugged.
So he got mugged.
He got
and
happy slapped.
and he said, I've had enough of this, right?
Yeah.
And he went to live in the woods, right? Made like a little shed, stayed there. People went to visit him, and like, if you got a problem, you knock on his door and you go, I'm sick of it. And he'll sort of say, yeah, I know what you mean, I've moved out of the city and what have you. And he'd make them feel better, and then they go again. Now, why has that man got a plaque? If he was around now, there's no way he'd have a bit of wood with his face on it, is what I'm saying. If someone had got fed up with living in London or New York or whatever, and they go, I'm going to go and live in the woods, people wouldn't visit him, and he wouldn't get a piece of wood with his face on, is what I'm saying. But this man is selling it for about, I think it was about 750 quid for this bloke's head.
But the chances are that this is either a well-known Russian folktale, or it may even be a piece of classic Russian
He's a
literature.
saint. He was a saint.
Oh, okay.
He was
Well, in which
canonised.
case it's
Yeah.
like,
Everybody was a saint years ago. That seems to be like thrown about, doesn't it? Who's a saint now? Name him one now. Yet this fella lived in the woods in a hut. Oh yeah, that's Saint John or whatever. He's not a saint. He's done nothing. If anything, he's sort of said, I can't be bothered with living in a city with everyone else. Everyone else has got to put up with it, but I can't put up with it. I'm going to live in the woods. Well, if you can't put up with it, you're not good enough, are you? You've got no stamina. And yet he gets a plaque, is what I'm saying. It's annoying.
Who would
Well,
you
it's
like to
art.
see, who would you like to see get a plaque in the modern world? Who deserves a plaque, in your opinion?
Probably like nurses and that who do a lot of bad things that I think I couldn't do that. Carrying lungs about and all that. No, but I couldn't do you know what I mean? That's one job that... my mum wanted me to be a doctor.
Whoa! What was she thinking? Oh, what's her expectations
This particular
like
apple
now?
didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, when did she start giving up that dream? At what age did she start going, Carl, you don't need to study your books anymore. Go and play with the worms in the garden. When did she sort of like let you off that
Is
dream?
it the day that she caught you with a spoon up your nose?
But anyway, talking of emails and that, right? Nick, who's emailed from Australia, right, Melbourne, he's been going on about dolphins and that, problems with dolphins.
What problems?
He's just saying when that wind happened, there was like a bad wind thing going on.
Hold on, wait a minute. What bad wind?
In America, they had that,
Hurricane Katrina.
yeah,
Right.
and there was like a little bay with dolphins in it, and
Right.
that, with all guns on them and stuff.
What? Whoa.
They use dolphins, don't they? They say they're an intelligent animal and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got them all like, you know, they've all had the training. They're all like ready for battle and stuff.
Right.
Got like rifles on them.
What do you mean rifles?
They've
How can they
got
hold the
weapons,
rifle? How can they hold the rifle?
No, it's sort of on a strap and that.
What do you mean it's on a strap?
I don't know what they kit them out with, but they're just ready for war. Whenever
What
it
are
kicks
you
off.
talking about?
Listen, though, that isn't the point. Don't worry about it.
Oh, we leave
But what
that
I'm
one, do
saying
we?
is-
That's not the point, so let's leave it.
So they're swimming about. and that,
Yeah,
in
with
this little bay.
rifles and berets.
Whatever they've got on.
Yeah.
Right, ready for battle and stuff.
Yeah, ready for battle, yeah.
The wind comes in.
The wind comes in.
Hurricane
yeah.
Katrina.
Makes a wave and that. They get out of the little bay.
Yeah.
Still all kitted out with all the, you know, weapons.
You're talking
and that.
bollocks.
Steve, do you want to look at the email?
Well,
mate?
there's no way. There's loads of dolphins now swimming round, kitted out
Causing
with
problems.
guns and that, with a strap. How can a dolphin hold a... Again, you've been watching Planet of the Apes. Oh, he's trying to talk to us. What's he saying? He's saying, go ahead, punk, make my day.
Look,
You're
I'm just-
talking shit.
It's just news to say if there's dolphins, you know, if you see a dolphin in that, don't go, oh, it's friendly, because there's some with weapons now. So I'm just reading it out on email. That'll cover it and that. So
Bollocks. Carl, can we have some monkey news before I die?
all right.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey knows you.
This monkey that was knocking about called Ollie. It was in this zoo, and it was the only monkey in there, right? And it was getting a bit lonely because, like, it was sharing its sort of time with, say, an elephant and a giraffe. And
No,
that.
it doesn't happen.
And they didn't really
No,
get on that well.
Wait, they do
No,
not
but let me
put,
just tell you.
They do not put chimpanzees in with...
No,
well, it's
but
not true.
I know
Why
they
would he
look-
share his
no,
time
no,
with an
no,
elephant
they're
and a
not-
giraffe?
Gervais,
I know
it was some kind of flat share. They put an advert in the student union.
Yeah.
saying we
Yeah,
need,
but
you
I'm
know,
not-
we've got
I
2 rooms to let.
African mammal wanted,
Well,
not
anyway,
specific.
but
A mammoth and a...
What I'm saying is there was other elephants for elephants to knock about with and that. The monkey, it was the only one there. So what happened is the zookeeper
Right.
felt a bit sorry for him. He started to sort of get pally with him. So at lunchtime, when the zookeeper was sat on the wall having his like ham butties or whatever, he'd sort of go, "You all right?" And it used to come over closer and closer. Right. Anyway, within a month, he was sat on the wall having his lunch with him. Right.
That
But
aren't true.
anyway,
Go
so
on.
he sat there, and as time goes on, you know,
Yeah.
he's sort of sat with him most of the day. Monkeys
Yeah.
walking around with him, helping feed the other animals and that.
No.
But then what happened is the zookeeper, at the end of the night, when he's like locking up and stuff,
Yeah.
he'd feel bad because he'd be leaving the zoo, and like Ollie's sat there and he's like, "I'll see you tomorrow," and the monkey's like, "Yeah, all right, see you later." He's looking all fed up because he's got home to go to and he's still stuck in where he's basically working every day. Right, so he's never going home, right?
Now he's sleeping at work, the monkey.
So anyway, the
Yeah.
zookeeper goes home, says to his wife, "Look, Ollie's having a bit of a time at the moment." She said, "Oh yeah, what's going on?" He said, "Well, he's just looking a bit fed up. You know, he's sick of it." So she said, "Bring him home."
Didn't happen.
So
this is
anyway.
in your head.
So she said, "Yeah, bring it home tonight." So anyway, he's looking forward to going into work, and that he sees Ollie. He doesn't tell him straight away.
It's a surprise for him later.
He gets to the end of the day.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's like, "Get your coat." He's like, "What?"
Coat? What do you mean, get your coat?
but whatever the equivalent is, right? Whatever you say to a monkey, it was kind of like, you know, "You coming with me," sort of thing.
Right.
So he's going, "Oh, brilliant." Anyway,
No, he's not.
So
Why
he
do you mean he's going brilliant?
He takes
Look,
it home.
so he gets his hat and coat.
yeah.
And he
Can't
Go
believe
on,
his luck,
Ellen.
right?
Yeah.
He goes back to the zookeeper's house. Everything's going well for about a week and a half.
Right.
Treating him really well. He's sat there, you know, he's having a brandy at night before he goes to bed. So he said to his wife, "Look, you're at home all day, right?
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to work. I'll leave it with you, right?" So Ollie stays at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, as time goes on,
Yep.
a little bit of trouble. Whilst the fella's busy at work, Ollie starts getting a little bit cheeky. Tries it on with the missus.
Whoa. Right.
How does a
Carl,
monkey try it on with the
Are you
missus?
But this
talking shit?
is classic monkey news. And
How does it try it on with
So
the
he's a
missus?
bit drunk. He stinks of smoke. He tries it on with the missus. How does he try it on with her?
I don't know all the detail on
You don't know
on that
any
bit.
of the
I don't know
details.
the detail on that bit. But
You don't
all I
know any of the
No, I don't know
details.
the details on that bit.
You
but
don't
I
know any of the details.
So what happened? So while the zookeeper's away, the monkey did play. Did the zookeeper's wife reciprocate these affections?
She probably went along with it at first. You know, she's cooking at home, getting the tea ready. That's walking past, pinching her arse or whatever. And it's, do you know what I mean? It starts off just like it does, you know, with humans. Starts off as a bit of fun. Before you know it, you know, split up in the end. Anyway, the zookeeper and the what's it? I think the monkey stayed with the woman. So, it's all there. It's
Honestly,
all on email, mate.
your imagination.
Well,
you
look
should
it up.
write stories. You
Get
should
people-
write. You
Get
know,
people to look it up. Just put in monkey, chimp, Ollie, and it's all there.
the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Rick, you'll be pleased to know we've already had some responses, and Simon and Mark have already emailed us in this link to something that was on the BBC News website. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it's a remarkable story. Lion mutilates 42 midgets in Cambodian ring fight. That's just the headline.
That's a hell of a headline. That makes me want to know more about the story.
Well, that's what a headline...
That's what a headline should do.
Spectators cheered as entire Cambodian midget fighting league squared off against African lion. Tickets had been sold out 3 weeks before the much-anticipated fight. The fight was organised when an angry fan contested Yang Shamoni, president of the CMFL, claiming that one lion could defeat his entire league of 42 fighters. Well, the fight was ended, Rick, after only 12 minutes, after which 28 of the midget fighters were declared dead,
Right.
while the other 14 suffered severe injuries, including broken bones, lost limbs, and they were basically unable to fight
But the
anymore.
lion wasn't hurt?
It would have seemed that the lion was okay.
Oh, good. Well, that's amazing.
Carl, what are your thoughts instantly? I mean, you're bound to have a take on that.
See, what's annoying me is I've sent money to Cambodia because apparently they're hungry and haven't got any energy. So what's going on?
Well, it's much easier to fill up a midget than it is a regular Cambodian. You know, they're
I just
happy
feel
on
like
a Mars
I'm
bar.
being cheated a bit.
You were conned before with a charity, weren't you?
Well, a few times, yeah.
What about the old lady? What was that?
I got stopped, and it's like they sort of drag you in by saying, "Have you got a gran?" And I said, "No, they died," and that. It's like, "Oh, did they die of the cold?" No, she's, ill. What have you? Just old age. He said, "Well, what happens with a lot of people's grans is they die in the cold, right?" So I was like, "Oh, that's bad, isn't it?" Anyway, so she's chatting and she's showing me pictures of these old women who look cold, right? Saying, "Look at her, that's Edna. She's got no family. She can't pay the bills and all that."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh yeah." Anyway, it goes on for about 15 minutes, and you feel bad. You give them your bank details, right? And what happens is every couple of months you get a letter from Edna. Well, it's not from her; it's typed up and what have you. But there's a picture of Edna, right? And it's saying, "Oh, this December, Edna's going to be extra cold. It's cold outside. She can't afford to pay the heat and what have you."
Yeah.
Keep going, right? So you keep paying every month like £5, whatever. Get another letter a few months later, right? Edna's sat there. She's got a tan.
What do you mean she's got a tan?
Well, when they said, she's cold, I thought they meant for the heating, not to send her on holiday for a month. She sat there with a tan. I'm not joking.
Are you sure it wasn't just a slight problem in the printing?
No, definitely.
Sure, it
she
wasn't
looked well happy.
Sure, it wasn't liver failure.
You see, when does it become bad to avoid people like that? Do you know what I mean? Because some people say you shouldn't. They're people like us who've just had a bit of bad luck.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, I know, but I remember one on our estate, right? And she was a bit. What's the word that you can use? Because I don't want to offend anyone. But I'd say but sort of mental homeless. Is that a term?
That's the official term.
I think that is the
new official term. It's mental homeless-itis.
Right. So she lived on the estate and what have you, and she aged.
How was she homeless if she lived on the estate?
Well, she sort of decided to stay around there because I think people on the estate spoke to her more than people who had money. So this mental homeless woman on the estate, and what she used to do, right? She acted quite normal, and she used to always push like a pram around with her, right? Everyone was like, "She can't have a kid, can she?" Right? And she was dead happy every day. She was up and down, walking up and down the road. Anyway, one day she sort of walked past, right? Turned round and looked in the pram. There's a bucket with a face on it.
Rick, we've had an email here from a bloke. I think you're going to respect him because I think you can tell straight away from his name that he's the kind of guy you'd want to hang out with.
Go on.
I know how much you love fun people.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, and he's calling himself this, Paul the Party Animal Parker. He's emailed in. He's given himself that moniker.
Right, I assume they're in sort of like quote marks,
They're
are
in,
they?
in speech marks, yeah.
Brilliant.
Party Animal Parker.
And he's calling himself that.
Yeah.
That I can't wait.
So when you picture him, what are you thinking?
Millhouse.
Right, okay.
I think he looks like Millhouse from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He's
He's working in sort of an IT department, maybe?
Yeah,
for a large
possibly.
organisation?
Oh, I think he might still be at school.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And this is the vital question. Do you believe him to be a party animal?
I believe him to be a party animal is as much as a man with a long scarf that his mum knitted him to look like Doctor Who can be a party animal, yes.
Do you think that when people are organising parties at his school, they're thinking the first person they got to get on the list and make sure he's guaranteed as
You've
a
got
guest
to take Paul the
is
party
is
animal.
Paul Parker.
Because I bet he's got millions of affectations. I bet he wants to be known as the one that carries around a biscuit tin.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the scarf.
He's the guy who only ever wears bowling shoes. It's his thing. It's his thing. He's a little bit kooky, it's his thing. And it is fairly interesting what he sent in. He's found this on the web. A Serbian man who has invented a sex machine for women. And he's appealing to Western women to test his device. It runs on a 390-volt electric engine, simulates sex, and has a 7.5-inch artificial penis. As soon as I read this, I was thinking... It's just imagining there going, oh, thanks for coming in, yeah, okay. So there's what's going to happen is there's a penis that's going to pop out from here, and it's going to have sex with you. I'm going to stand behind the machine. I've got to stand behind here. There's a lot of dials and stuff. I don't want to bore you in.
Well, why do you have to stand behind it? Just
I can't. It's technical stuff, but I got to be behind the machine.
But there's no penis on the robot at the moment. It's just a hole.
No, don't worry. What'll happen is I'll switch the machine on. I'll go behind, and then a penis will appear.
Will it be like a metal-looking penis?
It will be a robotic penis, but it will seem like it's a regular fleshy human penis.
So you've made this sort of like robotic penis look really realistic.
It's really realistic. You will not be able to tell the difference between, say, the robot one and mine, for instance.
Okay, well, I don't want to see yours.
No, there's absolutely not.
Because I've not come around here to have sex with a person.
I know, you've come around to test the machine.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what you're going to get.
Okay,
a piece of mechanical action.
To a lot of people, sex is important, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Not to you?
Well, it serves a purpose.
What purpose?
No.
Because you don't want to have kids, so what purpose?
Just you know,
Something to do in the
something
evening,
to do, innit?
when the telly's broke.
But for years, like they've found stuff, haven't they? Machines from like Roman times that similar to that setup.
No machines in Roman times.
Like that though, the old sort of knob on a stick machine thing.
The old Roman
I love that.
stick. I'm sorry, but I watch
Aqueduct.
Time Team every week, and Tony Robinson has never done an old knob on a stick machine.
I just think of Julius Caesar sitting down and go, okay, aqueduct, we love that. Thanks for that. Straight roads, good idea. We can see the enemy coming. What have you got there?
Well, I'm glad you've asked.
Ploncticus. What have you got
Glad you
there?
asked.
Wanklicus.
What I've got here is a Yodi knob, and I've put that on the end of a stick.
Oh, sticker's phallus. Okay, well done, Wanklicus.
No.
Well done. You are my new right-hand man, as they say.
No,
Excellent.
But they do stuff like that. You've been in the London Museum and that, and they've got sort of sex stuff from years ago. They've got like these metal pants that they used to wear.
I don't know what that is.
Metal pants.
Yeah, sort of
Is
metal.
that a chastity belt? You mean? They used to make women wear them so that they could
When-
have
when-
sex
when-
when
No, but
men were-
they had them for blokes as well, though.
metal pants for blokes.
Yeah,
Why?
I just think they sort of like sexy metal pants.
What? Oh, I don't know what you mean.
What
with
are you
sexy
talking
metal
about?
pants.
Well, they'll have to look because I haven't got it in front of me. It's just something I remember seeing, some sort of sexy metal pants that they used to wear.
But what are you saying? Sexy metal
Come on,
pants?
they
that
always
was
have
not
to
British
be-
Museum. That was Soho.
No, what I mean
That was Old Compton Street. You were looking
they
in the
always
shop
had to
window.
be ready for like battle and that, but these were a little bit sexy but protective at the same time.
So, Lancelot, are you ready to face the Black Knight? Yeah, what do you think of these? Huh?
I just want to look good on the battlefield. Will there be women watching, cheering us on?
Well, you're not going to fight like that, are you? What about your
I'm going to wear nothing except these sexy metal pants.
But what about your chest is exposed?
no,
You
I
know,
can, well, it's a good chest. I'll be working out.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is you want metal all
I've
over.
actually been lifting up the round table every week. I just work out, do that about 4 times a day.
But that machine, right? Why did it have to be a woman, or could they have got a little gay fella in?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
just check. It doesn't actually specify the small print here.
I love that. Why do you want to see a little gay fella be...
I don't know. I don't want to see it. I'm just saying they're sort of more.
Carl, why do you want...
don't wanna see it.
Why do you want to
Don't wanna
watch
see
a
it.
gay man get buggered by a robot?
I wasn't the one typing in gay machines on the internet finding stuff out about them.
It's not a
Steve
gay
was.
machine. You just made it into a game machine.
Yeah, he wanted to pleasure women with this machine. You're saying, can I see a little gay fellow get a robotic cock up his arse? You're the one requesting that, Carl
I don't want
Pilkington.
that. I'm just saying that.
You're the one that wants to see gay men with metal stuff up their anus.
No, what I'm saying is they're more up for a bit more experimentation than...
What are you saying? Why is that the case?
Why? Why'd you say that?
No, they're just, you know, butt plugs and that. I mean, what I'm saying is...
What, you can't just say butt plugs and that.
I'm just saying that I reckon they'd be up for it.
What do you know
I'm
about
saying.
butt plugs?
Well, I don't know anything about them. I just remember seeing an advert for some once in a sex shop.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I wasn't. I was just walking past. I was walking past the sex shop and that. And
Your eyes
you're sort of
glint,
looking.
Why were you walking past a sex shop?
Just because I was on the way to work and that, and I passed one, and there was a little sort of one. It was open early, which I never understood. Right, it was about 8 o'clock in the morning. Right, and
Who's rushing out for butt plugs that early in the
who
morning,
needs them now? Right, but I sort
I must
of
get
had
a bagel and some poppers on the way to work.
I walked past it, and it had like a little post-it note or postcard type thing, and it was like pop in now, buy an item, chuck in some free butt plugs. And I didn't know what they for. I'd never heard of them before. But all I'm saying is I've since found out what they do with them.
What
and
do
if
they
they do that with them, then
Yeah.
give them a go on that.
Another email here. It's an interesting fact. I'm hoping it's true. America's first nudist organisation apparently was founded in 1929 by 3 men. Now, what intrigued me when I read that is the fact that it's clearly 3 blokes just trying to meet some nude women.
They're all 52, balding,
Exactly.
with little sort of those gold-rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just wandering around, and it's all quite saggy down there, and they're just knocking on doors saying, we've just set up an organisation, it's perfectly above board, completely
Yeah.
legitimate, it's a nudist organisation. You got any women in there that want to come and join us? Because we
Well,
haven't got
not
any
really.
female members at the moment. Got any women in there interested in, volleyball or trampoline?
I can't be doing with it, me.
You hate nudists, don't you?
Nudists. I don't understand what it's all about at the end of the day. And here's something, right? Do you know, like, when you're a bloke nudist, right? Do you ever get any who just have, like, a small knob?
I don't know. I don't understand the question.
What's that? What's your point?
Well, are there any blokes who are knocking about who just have a normal-sized knob, or maybe a bit smaller than normal, who are happy wandering about showing off what they haven't got, if you know what I mean?
I don't think nudists are just doing it because they're so proud of their knob.
No, but there's got to be a little bit of that in it, isn't there? Just saying, most blokes who, nudists, they must be pretty confident in themselves to, I looked once.
What?
Where
are you
Because
going?
it's
What is
natural.
this?
It's natural, that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean? This
As a
is
bloke-
Carl takes a sneaky look at
No.
menscocks.com.
No, what I'm saying is, it's
Where
natural.
was this happening? You were in a gym.
No.
A lot of guys are getting changed, and you were just checking out their knobs.
you're at your bedroom window with a pair of binoculars,
No.
and there was a little fella across the road getting changed.
I was at some night out once.
Go
right?
on.
So you were at heaven, and you were in the
It
toilet.
was some night out, and some people come running on the stage, right? Some music started coming on, and these 4 people ran out. It was 2 women.
So
2
you're at a gay
blokes.
strip club.
It wasn't gay in that. It was just a normal night out. Well, some sort of party night out.
Right.
These people come running on, right? You got 2 women. You got 2 blokes.
Right.
They whip the knickers off. The fellas whip their undies off.
At the same time?
Yeah, all at the same time.
Was it like
that,
was it like a choreographed thing?
So
Go on.
that happened, and all I'm saying is, right, before I had a look at the woman's bits, right, I just had a little cheeky glance at the fellas.
Why? Why?
Just checking it out, just seeing is everything normal down
Why
there.
weren't your eyes drawn instantly to the ladies' bits?
No, don't believe me. I had a look at that. All I'm saying
But you
is,
went to the guys first.
I didn't know how long pants were going to be left off for.
So you didn't want to miss your opportunity, is what you're saying? You saw a window of opportunity to see some men's bits, and you thought, I better take it.
No,
because this may never happen again.
No,
So what happened? So there's
had a
2
look.
women, 2 men, right? I don't know what sort of event this is where you're looking at anyone get their knickers and pants off. I don't know why you're looking at all.
Good night,
So you go right. There's knickers and pants off. Right. Let's check out the knob and testicles first.
You're telling me you've never, like, when you've been in a gym or anything, you've not just sort of turned your head, had a look, and gone, all right, yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
So let's just get this question right. Have we ever been in a gym and just taken a sneaky glance at a man's genitals? Is that your question to us?
Right, for me, it's the same as when you see someone who's a bit odd, 2 heads or whatever.
Well, I'll be honest. If I was in a gym and a bloke came in with 2 heads, I'd look. I'd get a sneaky glance in the mirror. I'd go.
Sorry, but you'd look at his genitals or his 2 heads.
It's 2 heads.
Or would you sneakily look at the heads and then think, I wonder if he's got 2 cocks? And just...
I'd have to have a look there. If I'll tell you what, and now I admit it, if I'm ever in a gym and a naked man with 2 heads walks in, I probably will check out the genitals as well, just to make sure that he's got 2 of everything.
Can I tell you the thing that always freaks me out? I do sometimes go to the gym, and I live in North London, and the thing that always freaks me out is if there's an elderly man, often quite short. I'm always freaked out because there's at least 2 I'm aware of who've got very, very large penises. And I always find that really disturbing because sometimes you can't help but notice because it's like Godzilla coming through the change room. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
So
there you
that
go.
I do admit that's the only instance where my eye has been naturally drawn to it.
Do you know what annoys me in gyms? Where people walk round happily naked all the time whistling. They get weighed naked, pop a towel on and take off 3 ounces.
How exact have those measurements got to be?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Pop a towel on. I mean, unless you're going on the space shuttle, I reckon you could give or take a couple of stone. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Absolutely right. Well, we've put that to bed.
Carl, can I ask you a question?
Go on.
I know this is what a lot of the fans are already wondering. Is there going to be some monkey news today?
There's got to be.
Of course there is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Question.
Well, I'm worried because maybe this will steal your thunder. But Sarah has emailed this in, a chimp mauling under investigation. I know you're concerned, because this actually fuses 2 of our greatest features, Monkey News and Knob News, into one seamless whole.
Oh.
Investigators said they are trying to figure out how 2 chimpanzees that viciously attacked a visitor at an animal sanctuary escaped from their cage. This is the grim bit. The chimps chewed off a man's nose and severely mauled his genitals and limbs.
Why did they go for his genitals?
Both of them did as well.
Eh?
Both of them. Did you say 2 chimps?
No, you're right. Yeah, it was chimpanzees too. Yeah, I don't know if
See,
both
which
of them
one
went.
did it?
They just saw that they're dangling away, and they
You
just
go
went,
for the nose?
Yeah.
I go for his bollocks.
And
Now,
then
what accent have they got there?
I
those
don't
chimps?
know.
Were they kind of New York gangster chimps? They're like soprano chimps.
what happened to him anyway?
Well, unfortunately, they were shot dead by the authorities.
You see, that annoys me a bit.
I know, but again,
What are you talking about? They're attacking people's gonads.
I know, but they were happy in an African jungle a couple of years ago.
That's what they
but
do,
the-
isn't it?
That is what they do.
But why aren't they just sort of tranquilised? Where was
Why
this?
have
Was
I
this in
been
the zoo?
accused like it was my fault? It's because I happen to be reading. Sarah, who emailed it in, the one who should be getting a
It
bollocking.
just annoys me how one way it's kind of like, we're trying to save the pandas, and then the next day someone's shooting them or whatever. I've talked about this before about St. George killed the last dragon, right?
All right, it didn't exist.
It's the same thing though.
No, there's never been any dragons.
No.
It's a mythical creature.
Well, you don't
By
know
mythical,
that.
it means we made this up, like the unicorn.
Well,
I don't even understand. What was your point about the dragon? What's that got to do with
because
this?
I'm saying how, like, why is it all right to be going around, going mental with a gun, shooting all the monkeys and killing them? Because one day we're going to run out.
This was an animal sanctuary, though. So presumably they had quite a cushy time there, because most of the ones I've visited, they've always got it easy. They're
But
hanging
you
around
don't-
on tyres, they got comfy chairs, they're wanking. They're going berserk, they're loving it.
But hang on a minute, you've just answered your own question there. You said they're in a sanctuary, so they haven't had a good upbringing. So they're going to be a bit more, like, madder than other monkeys, aren't they? Because that's where the ill ones go, isn't it?
Sorry, what do you understand by sanctuary?
Well, I've been to one for seals.
It's not like a borstal.
Yeah, he thinks it's a borstal. He
It's
thinks
like
that,
scum.
Yeah, that they did some bad stuff in the jungle, and that they had a little monkey caught, and they went send him to Borstal.
So, well, what is it then?
No, it's a monkey sanctuary where it like a haven.
Well, it's not a haven, is it? They've got a bullet in the head.
Talking of eating knobs, Carol Thatcher, a daughter of one of our leaders.
Sure.
Well, you saw her in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. She popped a couple of bollocks in the mouth,
Oh.
chewed them up, swallowed them.
Oh.
Kangaroo penis there, dried. She couldn't even get. It was so tough she couldn't even get through it. And then she, eventually, she eats
What was it, like a pepperoni?
Yeah, and she took. What do you think of that, Carl?
What, eating that sort of stuff?
Yeah,
I watch it. I like those little trial bits, right?
yeah.
But what I don't think people realise is, right, it is hard eating a little kangaroo knob. Right?
Really? How'd you know?
No, it's just, you know, you think about it and you go, oh, couldn't do that, right? But what they never mention on the TV programme, which I think takes it to the next level, right? They're eating that at like 7:30 in the morning.
Sure. Right.
Which
for
is
breakfast.
worse, innit?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If I was there and Ant and Dec said, right, Carl, eat the knob, I'd go, hang on a minute, give us a few hours, let me get some rice and that on my belly and just sort of fill me up a little bit more. I'll pop back at about 6:30 this evening,
Right.
have it ready. And I'd be happier then. It's just that thing of, you know,
You
you've been at
don't
the-
want to eat animal genitals on an empty stomach.
So what are you saying? You could
I'm saying like I could eat a knob at night, but
just cut that there. We'll loop that. If any DJs are listening, just take that quote. I could eat a knob at night by Carl Pilkington. Maybe do a dance remix.
Yeah,
Or just
I think maybe you're sort of a house producer and you could maybe get some kind of high energy beat going, and then we could just send that out to some of the gay clubs. I'm sure
Yeah.
it'd be really popular.
Please, anyone send us, you know, that looped with a nice little, you know, funky house beat. Carl Pilkington saying I could eat a knob at night.
Rick, it's that time again. It's what everyone's waiting for. Can you do the jingle for us?
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
like this week the monkey news is about, you know,
Broken dreams in the rusted cars, forgotten stars in a sky full of scars. Old shoes dancing with the dust. In the junkyard we find our word trust. Tattered flags wave in the breeze. Scrap metal symphonies play with ease. Echoes of laughter in the vacant halls. Life still beating in these crumbling walls. Tonight we sing where nobody sees. In the junkyard we are free. Underneath the moon silver haze, we'll embrace these throwaway days. Lost souls in cobble parts, create art with our mended hearts. Every scratch has a story to tell, in this haven of heaven and hell. Old guitars strum a haunting tune, underneath the pale forgotten moon. Oil-stained fingers dance in grace, finding rhythm in a discarded place. Tonight we sing where nobody sees. In the junkyard we are free. Underneath the moon silver haze, we'll embrace these throwaway days.
For the past few years, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington have been meeting regularly for a series of pointless conversations. This is one of them.
Testing. Is that all right?
Hello and welcome to the Ricky Gervais Show with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And the little round-headed buffoon that is Carl Pilkington.
all right. Do you know the other week when I came up with like a different idea of how we can sort of make the world run and that?
Can we just have a quick recap of that? Because I seem to remember it was a load of old arse.
It was ridiculous. It was. He was saying that the world is overpopulated, so the system would be where people were living too long and stuff. So what happens is people live till 78. I don't know how you can enforce that, right?
Yeah.
But when they die, they've got a little baby in their stomach,
Right.
like a pip in an apple, that then carries on when they die.
Right.
It wasn't a theory. It wasn't an idea. It was the ramblings of a mental case.
You're saying it's stupid, but someone's emailed in and said, "Oh yeah, that's pretty good." Just saying. If that's a no, right? I've been thinking.
It is a no.
What about if we do it the other way, right?
Ah.
Go on.
Somehow, I don't know how.
A kid has an old lady?
That's what it's going to be, isn't it? A child will give birth to an old man.
No. What I'm saying is, right?
Go on.
Work the other way round.
Come on then.
So if somehow we can inject something in like a body that's just died, right?
Listen to this. Imagine this is notes.
So-
when he hands it into the Nobel people,
Yeah.
and they go, if there's a way that we can inject something, they go, well, what? Well, I don't know the chemical formula, but something HO2.
Right. So anyway, so you inject it in the temple.
He's narrowed it down to the temple.
So what happens?
She sort of wakes up,
Amazing.
right? And she works the other way. So like she might be 77,
Yep.
and then she'll have a birthday. She's 76, and she's working that way.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Are you with me?
No, keep it.
Because the thing is, you've got.
I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I'm really scared. This is the maddest thing you've ever said. This is madder than the old lady with the pip like an apple in her belly.
It sort of did work.
This is
No, it didn't work. It worked in your head. It's like a dream that you wake up and go, oh, I've got a great theory. And
This
it's
is
like,
this is it. Let me just tell you the
Go on then.
ending, because the endings works out a bit better.
Go on.
What I'm saying is, when you die at the age of
78.
9 months,
What?
at the age of 9 months, because that's when you come out.
What do you mean when you die at the age of
You're
9?
not scared of dying because you're now a baby, so you don't know what's going on anyway. So there's no fear.
So you missed out a bit here. So this woman, what, literally gets younger and younger?
I think when she's in her 20s, she's in her old age, Rick.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because that's the fun part of your life, isn't it? When you're 20 and you've got all your energy and that. So before you die, you're actually having a good life rather than it being the other way around.
But does she do different stuff than she did on the way up? Because she's already lived 78 years, hasn't she? Don't forget. She was a baby once, and she grew to 78 years, then someone stuck a needle in her head and said, right, back you go.
No, we'll forget all that bit.
Forget all that bit. How do we forget that bit?
What I'm saying
So
is...
she died and she doesn't remember all her... This is a new life, is it?
Let me just leave you with this.
Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
But aren't the family getting younger as well? What's happened to the family?
Forget it then, we'll leave it as it is.
No, leave it as it is, shall we?
Shall we? Can we all agree on that, guys? Now, should we agree to leave it as it is? Is that all right? Because I don't want to hear any more from the diaries of Charles Manson.
No, it's. I mean, you're a fucking maniac.
A friend of mine got a gift, or rather gave it as a gift. I don't know if you've been familiar with these. It's a charity organisation, and you go on their website or you phone them up, and you can give someone else the gift of, say, a goat. And it's a sort of goodwill thing, you know what I mean?
So you buy an African family a goat
that will help them for years.
And it's like you're saying, well, I would have bought you a present.
Yeah, but I've used that money wisely.
Yeah, so it's almost like they've given
Exactly.
the present. They've given the goat.
Yeah, it's a beautiful idea. But as soon as he told me about it, I thought to myself straight away, knowing Carl's views on charity and giving, I wondered what his views would be.
Well, are they happy with the present over there? Like the people who are getting it?
You're an idiot. What, you think an African family wakes up and there's a little goat with a ribbon tied round it, and they go, oh, look what Santa brought us.
Look, and that mince pie's gone and that glass of milk.
You're such an idiot.
No, but what I'm saying is, does that family want a goat?
Yes.
But why?
It's not that they want a goat, it's they need a goat. Do you think... What do you think this organisation is?
Just arbitrarily giving goats to people.
They're going to say, oh, I wanted Nintendo. What are you thinking?
Well, what I'm saying is, right, let me put myself in their shoes. Well,
This'll be
they
a
haven't got
first.
any. But say I'm one of them, right, over there. Right, I'm sat there, it's Christmas Day, right? I open it up, open the present, little goat there, right? Now, if I was one of them, I'd be going, not another mouth to feed. At the end of the day, there isn't enough food to go round for themselves, never mind a goat. Don't they say, like, having a dog and that is quite expensive? Sometimes they say, you know, what with all the injections you've got to give it.
Well, I'm assuming it's all above board. The goat's had its injections. That's what some of the money goes towards. It's just a way of redirecting cash.
But the thing is, why do they want that goat? What's the main reason? What does a goat give you?
Milk.
Right. Now, wouldn't it be easy to just send them a bottle of milk? Without all the hassle and the headaches that come with it. That's all I'm saying. And the other thing is, think about the goat. That was happy over here. Suddenly, it's on barren land. No grass.
I'm gonna burst! What do you mean?
You didn't send a goat from here.
I'm saying, who's happy at the end of this, right? You've got a fella who hasn't got a present over here because the mate bought him a goat, right? So yeah, let's do this properly. So there's a tick. He's not happy, right? Then you've got the person who's opened it, who, like you said, wanted something else, right? It's a goat. They go, who's going to look after this, right? So tick, they're not happy. And then you've got the goat going, what am I doing here?
Definitely love this, surely. Have you started seeing this now? Virgin are starting plugging Virgin Galactic. I think it's something like 200,000 quid, and you'll get a chance to go in a space shuttle into space.
Carl, thoughts?
Going to space?
Wouldn't it be a fascinating experience to go into space and look back at the Earth?
I mean, at what point are you all meant to be happy? Do you know what I mean? You're floating about up there, and because you don't get out, do you?
What, you mean to do some duty-free shopping?
I'm just talking, you don't go floating about, do you? You stay in your seat.
Well, they probably let you move around on the shuttle.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about getting out. For me, when you go on
you want to
holiday,
get out into space?
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. When you go on holiday, the flight bit isn't the best bit of the holiday, is it? That's the bit you've got to do. So what I'm saying is you've got to stay on this and then you go back home. So you don't take luggage, right? I don't see the point.
Right, so you're there, you're sat in your own clothes for the whole time, same clothes the whole time.
But I don't understand what is the point.
I think it's the view. I think it's two things. I think it's the view and being able to be part of an exclusive club. I went into space. It's all that thing about man conquering nature, and you're one of that elite few that have managed to pop up, see the world from a distance that no one else can see it from, and then pop down.
All that way just for the view.
Yeah.
Is it worth it? I mean, there's a lot of other places I haven't seen anyway. Right, before I think about that, I think if you've done everywhere, I haven't been to Scotland yet. Right?
Right, yeah.
I'm not being funny, but do you know what I mean? So just have a look in your back garden before you go looking in someone else's.
In space?
Yeah.
Yeah. What would make it a trip worthwhile for you? I mean, if you did go into space, if we gave it to you free of charge, we said, Carl, go up into
I know
space.
the answer. I know the answer to this, Steve. He's thinking, I'd like to meet some aliens that can talk like I do, and I can understand them, and they can tell me something. Like what? Oh, they met God, he was all right. That's the sort of thing, that's what he's going to say. He'd like them to look like monkeys in spacesuits.
Yeah.
That would be his ideal thing. He'd like to go to the planet of the apes.
He would
love
they
to
could
go
arrange
to
that.
Look, he's nodding. He's nodding. Thoughts, Carl?
Well, yeah, that'd be brilliant.
What would be brilliant?
Seeing a little alien and that, having a chat with him, finding out what's been going on.
What's been going on?
No. But don't you think that, like, I mean, if you bought me that as a present, right, either of you, I wouldn't be that happy. For me, that's a little bit like...
Well, that's annoying, because we've got you a trip to
just
space
pulled
and a
together.
goat.
Yeah.
Do you know how, like, I am interested in sort of going on another planet, right? Not,
Carl, you are on another planet, mate.
No, but do you know what I mean? It would be quite sort of interesting.
How do you think you'd get there?
Well, yeah, you'd go on a rocket and stuff, but what I'm saying is, at least you know when you get there, you're getting out, you're having a bit of a wander. But I wouldn't be happy in just the journey bit of it. That's all I'm saying.
That's great, isn't it?
But the thing is, right, because I was looking into it a bit, because I was reading about the Virgin Atlantic thing, right? And I was reading something that in 1971, right, 3 of them went up there. There was one bloke in the rocket, right? The other 2 wandered off, had a walkabout, seeing what rocks they can find. Right? And that bloke who was in the rocket, right, he was the loneliest man ever in the world.
I don't know what to do.
What that was?
I don't know what to do. I don't know if that's some sort of profound poetry or I don't. Do you know what I think he's trying to say? He's trying to say he was, by definition, a human furthest away from all other human contact.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay. No, you said loneliest. Loneliest evokes an emotion.
Yeah.
But
it's like he started crying and writing poetry and listening to Morrissey records.
But what I was thinking is, do you think when he got up in the morning, he still bothered to put his clothes on?
That's the first thing that came into your mind.
No,
when
just
you
because
pictured him
I
in
always,
there.
at the end of the day, even if like my girlfriend Suzanne's out at work and that, I'm not happy walking about with everything out because you never know what's going to happen. I just mean, you never know if someone's going to turn up.
no, I don't like what I don't like. No, I always pop some pants on or a towel, even if I'm
not
alone.
always. Because I've knocked on your door when you've been stood there with.
No, he's
Yeah,
taking
but
his trousers off.
I
when
did
he
it
comes to the door.
especially
Oh,
knowing
right.
that you were there. I've done it especially to annoy you.
right.
Yeah. So.
But do you know what I mean? Do you think he was walking about the rocket with his tackle out, or did he
floating
go?
about,
Well, no one's watching here.
Do you reckon it floats up or down?
Well, if you are the man who was up in a space rocket and was for a short period the loneliest man in the world, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you did with your time, how lonely you felt, and also
Lonely?
did you float around with your cock and balls out? Carl, if you could have a superpower like Superman, what would your superpower be?
Can I suggest consciousness?
Yeah.
Can I have the power of thought?
Remember, you've already got opposable thumbs. So cross that one off the list.
Oh, go on, Carl.
There are so many to choose from. Telepathy, X-ray vision.
Flight, invisibility,
Choose it wisely.
strength, intelligence.
But why have I been picked?
Oh, for God's sake!
No, but I'm just saying.
It's Rob's question
No,
for
no,
you.
But I'd just say, does anyone else want this? Or, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
No,
what do you
because-
wish you
no,
could do that's
no,
impossible is
because-
the question.
no, because-
What? What do you mean?
Because with that comes a responsibility. Is what
With
I'm saying.
enormous power does come great responsibility.
So, would you like Spidey senses? Is that what you're saying?
Come on, Carl. You know what these superheroes because they can.
I know, but
they
it
can
always
freeze things.
They're
they-
never happy, are they? Do you know what I mean? Spider-Man that wanted to tell that girl that he could climb walls and that. He's like, I can't. Superman never told Lewis and that.
Who's Lewis? Who's Lewis?
Lewis.
Who's Lewis?
It's just a pen pal of Superman's.
Lewis! His little secret chum! Yeah. Alright, Superman. Hello, Lewis. What are you doing? Superman. Who are you? I can't tell you, Lewis. Brilliant.
You know, Hulk. He wasn't happy.
Oh, he wasn't happy. It's true. He's got a theme. He has got a theme. There's not many happy superheroes, are
But
there?
leaving aside the superheroes you're already aware of,
Yeah.
what superpower do you want? You don't have to fight crime with it, Carl. Let me remind you of some of the other things. Invisibility.
All the time, though, or can I sort of turn that on and off?
Let's say you could turn it on and off. Would that interest you?
Yeah. I'll have that.
Right. Okay, and what would you do with this power of invisibility?
Just sort of wander about and that, just not get seen.
It's a brilliant power. It's a brilliant. And it's put to such
It's
brilliant
brilliant.
use. It's brilliant. Well done.
And why would you want to walk around and not be seen in that? What would you gain from that?
Don't know. You could sort of go in shops when they shut, so you don't have to go.
How would you get in?
Just get in just before they lock up.
Oh yeah. How would you get out?
Wait till the morning.
Brilliant.
So hang on. So that's your use of invisibility. They found the power of invisibility. You want to sneak into. Never mind. No, hang on. You want to sneak into HMV, right? Wait for 12 hours and then buy something.
I love it.
Just so that you don't have to be in there with other people.
Do you know what? I don't want it. I don't want a power
Why not?
because I just don't think it'll do me any good. I think it's more of a hindrance.
I love this. It's like, just think of his presents. We've given you a trip into space, and the chance to be invisible.
Not happy with any of them.
Yeah. What he wants is a voucher for HMV.
Yeah. He just wants some tokens for a record shop. Just going through a few more of these emails. This one's from Kent from Nova Scotia, Canada. He says, Carl, he's wondering if you've got any personal mantras that you could pass along. For instance, he reminds us of Ben Franklin's famous mantra, waste not, want not.
Who said that?
Ben Franklin.
What did he do? What was his job?
Benjamin Franklin was a well-respected American politician from the 1800s. He was a sort of thinker, a philosopher, a scientist, deeply respected. Also a big political figure. He features on the dollar bill or the $10 bill or something. Yeah. So he's one of the great sort of American Enlightenment thinkers. And he came up with the mantra, waste not, want not.
You must know waste not, want not. I mean, that's just...
Do you understand the phrase waste not, want not?
No, not really, no. What does it mean? I've never used it.
It's like... don't throw stuff away because you might need it, and therefore you won't be wanting anything because you didn't throw it away.
So he was a bit of a hoarder.
If you don't waste food, for instance, then you
He's a bit of a hoarder.
For God's sake.
No, but I'm just saying, he's a man in power. Is that the best thing he ever said?
No, I'm sure he came up with many, many profound
so why
things.
Is that one
he did
remembered?
Experiments in electricity and conducting electricity, all sorts.
But that impresses me more, inventing electricity, than someone...
He didn't invent electricity.
Wait a minute! Don't impress you more than what?
Just saying, waste not, want not. I don't think it's that good. It's not even catchy.
How would you word it?
I'd just say, whoa, don't be chucking that out. You might need that later.
Don't be chucking that out. You might need that later. Carl Pilkington.
Whereas some would argue that waste not, want not is perhaps a little bit more pithy, a little bit more...
We should go through great sayings and phrases and say...
if he could, well, firstly, does he know what they mean? And then secondly, can he improve them?
That would be brilliant.
We'll do that next time.
Let's say... Okay, Winston Churchill. Never have so few done so much for so many. What do you think of that? How would you... Do you know what that means?
I'd just be annoyed if I was one of them who gave a lot for a few or whatever, right?
No, gave a lot for so many. If you were one of those few that gave so much for so many, i.e., it means these few good men, their actions freed the world. They freed the world. They have an impact on every person in the world, and they were few brave men, and that's what he's saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was one of them men who gave up his life, right, I'd want a name check. I don't want to be bungled in with everyone else who is saying a load of blokes gave it their lives. Well done on that. See you later.
That's brilliant.
Did you just say bungled in?
Bungled in, yeah.
You made up a word.
I don't want to be bungled in.
You made up a word. See, that's it. You see, we've been looking for it. That's original. That's Carl Pilkington. I don't want to be bungled in.
Right, do you know we've chatted about charities before, haven't we?
Sure, yeah.
Done a lot of stuff on that, right? Just coming back from Manchester, right? Got off the train, Euston.
Yeah.
Right? Got off the train, walking through the busy bit and stuff. There's this fella stood there, right? Good charity worker.
Yeah.
Right? Nice looking fella. He's got his suit on, the tie and everything, quite respectable and that, right? Look down at his bucket. All money's been put in the bucket and that, right? On the front of the bucket, right? It says collecting for the homeless at Christmas. Now, why can't they do that?
What, the homeless?
The homeless people. Why is some fella taking his time out, right? His own time where he could be at home. Why?
Some of us have got homes to go to.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know what I mean?
What do you think? Just give them the buckets?
Well, what are the homeless people doing whilst he's doing that? Is what I'm saying. What have they got on the timetable?
Cut out the middleman. Cut out the middleman.
What would prevent a homeless person and an entrepreneurial homeless person just getting a bucket and writing that on there themselves?
Could I suggest something? Hunger, some drug addiction, traumas, often mental illness, just possibly too depressed to get up, put a suit on and go to Euston Station with a nice bucket with some writing on it.
And then, right, I was thinking about that, right, and I was walking down the street in London with Suzanne. Saw a little homeless... Well, I didn't see the homeless bloke, right? I saw a leg, right, sticking out of a doorway. Oh, here we go, right? Walked past it, right? You're not going to believe this.
Go on.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Chinese fella. I've never seen one of them. No, I'm not having a go, right? But have you ever seen? Do you know what I mean? That was a shock.
I
to me.
really don't think I have. I think he's got me there. I hate to say it, but I must say I can't remember ever seeing a homeless Chinese person.
Weird, isn't it? I actually said, I was walked past and I said to Suzanne, "Did you see that?" She went, "What?" I said, "Just look back there." She said, "What?" I said, "That homeless fella, look back at him." She said, "What?" I said, "He's Chinese." And she said, "Yeah, good point."
Good point. Of course she did.
She said that to shut you up.
She didn't want to get into a conversation with you.
Rick, it's that time again. It's what the whole world is waiting for now.
Is it Monkey
week.
News?
It is Monkey News. Please perform live the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news, you.
There we go.
Right then, well, got an email from John. If you've got any monkey news going on in your area,
Let us know.
God, amazing.
but there's a TV channel in Moscow, right? And I think they had a bit of bad luck or something, a lot of redundancies and that, right? And whoever was in charge of it got a bit mental and got rid of loads of people, right?
Yeah.
And they come in the next day and they were like, "Right, are we ready to go live and that?" And someone comes running in with a clipboard saying, we haven't got any people left, right, to present.
Such nonsense.
Right, tell you what. Right, okay, carry on.
So he goes, "What?"
If just one employee turns out to be Simeon and is doing a good job, I'm never doing this radio show again.
So this TV channel, it's having a lot of problems and that. They've got to go live, right? He's like, "What am I going to do?" Anyway, for some reason, right, there was a chimp knocking about.
For some reason, that's the key piece of information,
it
but we didn't get it. We didn't get it.
It doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter. Imagine
Anyway.
if that was in a film. And they're going, "Well, I can't see where this plot go." Well, he's just there. He's just there.
So anyway, so he sort of says, get it in a suit, right?
Why?
So, because they're running out of ideas, the clock's ticking, they've got to go live with something.
What do you mean? What he's
What, is it a
presenting?
news programme?
He's
Well,
presenting.
Listen, it's a chat show. I'm not...
They can't
Again,
talk.
don't have a go at me, have a go at John, who sent this in.
Right,
And
be
this
quiet. Let's hear it. Let's hear it again.
So anyway, so like I say, so they're going live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. Chimp sat there on the chair. He was like, "Look, let's just get through tonight's show and worry about this tomorrow, right?"
What are you talking about?
Look.
So they put a chimp in a suit. What was that, handmade, or were the sleeves a bit short on him? You idiot, think.
So anyway, it's sat there, right? And they're going, "Right, here we go. Good luck, everyone," right?
Yeah.
Chimp's there.
What programme is
It's
this?
a chat show.
But whose chat show is it?
Well, it's the monkeys.
I like the fact that
It's the monkeys now, is it? Did I say?
I like the fact that they put the chimp in a suit. It's like no one's going to take this chat show seriously if he's not dressed up, if he's not smart.
Slovenly, look at that slovenly ape.
So anyway,
Oh.
let's get to the point of it and that, right? So anyway, so they go on, right? It's all going
Didn't
brilliantly.
happen. There's no way this happened.
Here's a fundamental
So anyway.
question: how was the chimp asking questions?
Not sure about that bit, but all I've got is the stuff that was on the news site for this. Like I say, I've
But
given
it's
you,
rubbish.
Yeah, but I've given you some facts. I've
No, they're
told
not.
you there's a TV channel in Moscow that's having problems, right? I've explained that.
No,
bit.
it's this rubbish.
They've got rid of the presenters. The monkey sat there, right? Don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm telling you, it goes all right.
It goes
So anyway,
okay. In case you were worried, Rick.
he's sat there, right?
Absolute
They get to
shit.
the first break, they're like, "Can't believe it," right? Viewing figures and that, they're loving it, right?
What? No. What? How did they know the viewing figures in the break?
Please
And-
do not interrupt the
and
news.
What did the chimp
At
do in
end
the
of it,
first half?
They had a big guest on that week and what
And what
have
did
you.
he do? Just talk to
was it?
himself?
They walked out.
So Cher comes on,
I'm
yeah.
not sure, but say if it is Cher, right?
No,
Right,
what-
the main gaffer is like going, "Oh, Cher's going to go mental at us, right, for putting
Say
on
it
with the
is.
monkey."
No, it is Cher.
No, it's
In
Cher.
his mind, it's Cher sitting there talking to a chimp in a suit.
So anyway, she
and they're
comes
filming
off-
it for Moscow TV, and the ratings are going through the roof.
Presumably, there's a translator because Cher doesn't speak either Russian or chimp.
So she comes off, right, and the bloke who's in charge is like, "She's going to go mad. She's going to go mad here." She walks up, she goes, "I love that." Right? She said that's one of the best interviews, right? So anyway, they decided, right, it went so well, kept him on. He's still there.
I love the fact that Cher was an idea that Steve threw up, and now she's going, "I love that, I love that, I love that, Jim, get me back there. I want to go to Moscow, never mind." Unbelievable.
Don't have a go at me, have a go at John, but, if you've got any monkey news, send it in.